Oh, hell yes, we got 3 viewers, baby, popping off. I know some people are gonna be like, oh my god, 0 minutes and 0 viewers, click really fell off. Who's laughing? Who's laughing now? You little birch. Yeah, I'm not insecure. I am a very confident alpha male. That's why I need to tell everyone on Twitter I'm an alpha. All right, this stream is starting off in a great way.
What is this? I think I fell in love with.
Okay, let's see. Is this what? Ooh, it's a bit bright now because like there is sunshine in Sweden. Hold on, can I do this with just natural light? Click. Do you have Riz? No, I don't. It looks kind of decent with just natural light. Isn't that? You're very far away though, chat. Come closer. Come closer. So anyway, welcome to my little stream. Today we're gonna have a lot of fun. So anyway, let me just fix this slightly. You don't need to see all of my pores, okay? I'm not that secure in my skin. How are you doing, you wonderful beings? Welcome in a la natural light click stream. Isn't this absolutely amazing? Man, I missed summer. Click, you made me a furry. I don't know what that is, but congratulations or condolences, whichever fits the best. What's up? Love your videos? Question mark. Is that question mark for me or for you? Like you're not sure about it. Like, I really enjoy your content? Or is it that, like, you're not sure if it's, like, videos or not? It's like, videos? Congratulations. Oh, that's such a good word. That's such a good word. Oh my god, I need to start doing that. Click, do you like sharks? Yeah, sharks are really cute. You know, I went to... where was it? I've been in a couple of places where I got to swim with sharks. It's a while ago now, though. It was like in my 20s. But I traveled once to the Maldives. It was beautiful. And I traveled once to the Seychelles. And in both of those places, I got to snorkel with baby sharks. Like, you know, when you're on the islands or inside of the reefs, basically, it's very shallow. So the big sharks don't want to go there because they scrape up their tummies if there is a lot of waves and stuff, right? But the baby sharks are there because it's safe and nice. So, like, you're snorkeling around, paddling with your little swimmy feet, and then you have, like, sharks that are about this size, you know, like a meter maybe. They're, like, swimming alongside you and just being curious and cute. It's amazing. It's like reef sharks, lemon sharks... those kind of stuff. It's good. It's good. Blowhigh. No blowhighs, sadly. Blowhighs aren't actually real. The closest thing would be like a whale shark. So sharks have gaycations too. Hey, welcome in, you beautiful being. Yes, they do. They do. Hattie Lee, thank you so much for being a lasso as well. Sharks also go on gaycation. I prefer going on gaycation with sharks. That is the only valid way of doing it. Conspiracy. The Click has developed time travel, and he is every single Swedish person. And if you ask, what about the women? He looks really convincing in his fit. Oh, yes, indeed. I'm really passing in a dress, okay? Aside from my shoulders, they're like 2 meters wide. But aside from that... I have a picture on my Instagram of me in a surprisingly tight dress. Let me see if I can find it real quick. My Instagram link should be in the description. Shameless promotion. Let's see if I can find it. Well, I think I wore it in a video, to be fair, so you probably see it there. But check this out. Check this out. This is me. This is me, right there. Isn't that hot? Isn't that hot? Like, I think it really brings out my shape and stuff. Like, I'm a little bit jealous about regular dress wearers, you know? When I put it on, I was like, damn, this really brings out my curves in, like, the best way you possibly could. Like, dresses are surprisingly generous, man. Slay? I know, right? It's like I'm straight up murdering in that dress. The police are coming because I'm wanted for multiple homicides after wearing that dress and slaying so hard. Frey, thank you so much for 5 memberships, you beautiful bean. Click would defo pass. I mean, aside from the beard, maybe. I would have to do something about that. The fit kind of reminds me of a troom hack. What is a troom? I'm not sure if I know what that is. Thanks for making my lunchtime more fun. Always excited to catch Clicky live. Welcome in, Hattie. I do hope you enjoy your lunch break. How dare you say blowhigh don't exist? There is one on my bed. Would beg to differ. Well, they don't exist in the ocean, okay? His name is Finnegan, and he's very real. Has he been swimming lately? Huh? Has the blowhigh been splashing in the splash place? Which is ocean. What do you call the place that's like land but wet? Oh, the ocean. Don't look up Troom on YouTube. Okay, I'm guessing this is going to be a mistake. I'm having some vegetable snackies because I'm a very healthy boy. Aside from the burger I had yesterday. My blowhigh's very real. Click can't remember Troom. He rally I getting old. That was a sentence, holy shit. Yeah, see blowhigh all the time, swimming around. Really? I just feel gaslit by my chat. They're trying to tell me something that is called furries exist, and that blowhighs exist. I'm just being gaslit today. This is disgusting. Am I the bot for thinking that no country should be automatically qualified in the Eurovision Song Contest except for the previous winner? I'm gonna be honest, fam. I haven't really watched Eurovision for the past 15 years or so. I am probably as uninvested as you could be. You know, on occasion, I'll see like some Eurovision drama pop up on my feed, and I'm always like, I'm not even invested enough to know what this drama is about, man. It's really peaceful. I also haven't been on Twitter for like 2 months. It's amazing. Oh my god. I was so tempted the other day to like just log on to Twitter and write like a little thing in my bio where it's like, I'm not actually active on here. But then I'm also like, you know what? I'm not really gonna make a fuss out of it. I'm just gonna silently like, you know, like swoosh out. You know, I'm still gonna keep the account obviously because I need to promote my plushies occasionally, and sometimes it's good to have a Twitter. But man, it's nice not to actually be there. Actually, the blue shark blowhigh is an actual species. Its scientific name is Prioans glaequa. Really? It's a real one? Holy shit, that's amazing. I learned something new today. Thank you, Lorem. Yeah, I can mark the stream as educational now. For me as well. Does that count? Does YouTube content count as educational if it's like the YouTuber learning instead of like the the people watching it? Click, your outfit gives me the vibes of a teacher who just quit their job because they couldn't take it anymore. Man, I have a couple of friends who are teachers that I work out with, right? And sometimes when we're working out on like a Friday or Saturday, I'm always like, oh, you looking forward to see the rascals on Monday? And they're like, no. So, yeah. No, and I think they have like the most annoying age demographics as well. They have like, 13 to 15-year-olds, which is when kids are just entering puberty trying to be cool, but they're really cringe and they always follow like the worst inspirations and stuff online and whatever, and they have like the dumbest trends. Believe me, I know some people are gonna be like, but Click, don't be so mean. I used to be 13, okay? I am a 13-year-old alumni, and I know how fucking annoying and stupid I was, okay? I have the experience to base this opinion in reality, alright? Don't worry about it. Caitlin, thank you so much for being a lasso, you beautiful bean. Okay, boomer. Millennials are the new boomers, I swear to God, it's so sad. I mean, to be fair though, millennials have a different vibe. Boomers are more like, haha, I hate my wife, am I right, guys? And pull yourself up by the bootstraps, houses aren't that expensive. That's boomers. Millennials are more like really cringe humor that they for some reason still post to TikTok, despite it being from like 2011. You know? When it's like, random XD bacon, rar. Epic bacon XD. Anyone else remember that? That was great. That was great. God. Or you can be like me, for some reason still hanging around the hip side of the internet. It doesn't sound hip to say that, does it? But I'm still like sort of a boomer, but only like half-heartedly. And I think the only reason people give me a pass for it is because I'm sarcastic enough. So yeah. Wasn't born yet. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. My favorite boomer take is 15-year-old baby grills don't need 37 dolls. They can make do with 2 or 3 or 4. What? What? Is that like a reference to something I'm supposed to understand? I mean, I'm always like, you know, when people tell me, I remember someone was like hating on me actually in a random comment I saw at some point, and it's like, oh, I think it was actually on my channel, to be honest. I was scrolling like random comments because it's fun to read comments sometimes. And I remember someone was like, it's a bit odd. You seem to be well educated and well spoken, but like a little immature troglodyte, you enjoy plushies and blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. This is not even an insult, man. Trump quote. That's a Trump. It's not even surprising. It's not even surprising. Oh my God.
15-year-old girls don't even need 37 dolls anymore. They need 2 or 3 or 4 dolls. I had so many great people telling me a lot of great things, all these greatest people telling me about the doll tariffs, and I was on the phone with China talking about the tariffs about dolls because their young girls need at least 4 dolls, but they don't need 37 dolls. All these great people telling that they need the dolls, all the great American dolls, all the people.
If there's one thing Trumpy Wumpy has mastered, it's saying very few things with a lot of words. You know, the amount of like information density per word is incredibly low. Hey, Click. I know how much you love cute curse things being overdramatic. You should check out r/people fucking dying. No one is actually dying, by the way. It's so much fun. Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah, it's like it's like, you know, dying inside kind of thing when it's like, you know, oh, you dropped your precious piece of glass you were carrying carefully, and the person looks like this. You know, because they're dying inside. Yeah, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. Thank you for the suggestion.
The young girls can make do with all the young grade 2 dolls or maybe 1, not 49 dolls.
Type ah. Man, it's great. Trump already? Hey, by the way, I mean, it's unavoidable. The memes are fun, though. The state of the world, not so much. I wonder how many memes they were made, like, back in the day. This is something I realized back when Russia invaded Ukraine, right? Because that's such a long time ago, like a couple of years. And you know, the amount of stuff that came out of it, because people have smartphones now with cameras and that kind of stuff, so you saw things posted by, like, literally everyone. It was pretty entertaining at times, right? I wonder how much of that stuff we have missed out on from history, you know? Because people didn't have smartphones. That's the good thing about smartphones and internet and social media. We get, like, all the shit posts from the front lines. It's great. I'm making cotton candy sheep, hell yes. That's amazing. To help with the educational part, I can give the context between quantitative and qualitative knowledge. For example, I know the basics of motion and kinetic energy, knowing how much force to apply, not to math. You mean you know how to toss a ball, but you can't calculate it. That's pretty good. Magic the Wolf, thank you so much for being a lasso. And Chichilla, thank you so much for being a royal lasso, you beautiful bean. And Indus on Cerberus Duck, I've been focusing on the summer plushies, to be honest. So I'm just gonna, yeah. And I've also been sitting in the sun, trying to make friends with a friendly neighborhood crow that lives in a tree outside where I live. So on occasion I'll sit outside and have lunch when the weather is nice, and I'll toss some leftover pieces of like whatever I'm eating, and I'm trying to make friends with it. It's like a couple, it's a couple of crows, and they're nesting in one of the trees where I live. So the husband flies down to eat my leftovers, and the wifey is sitting up in the tree shouting at him to get more food. It's pretty cute. So yeah, I'm trying to make friends with them. The goal is to have them eat from your hand. It might take a while. Hell yeah, love crows. Crows are so freaking good. Hell yes. Crows love peanuts. Ooh, that's a good suggestion. Hell yeah. One accidentally may or may not have eaten some mango sauce because I was eating a pasta and I had mango sauce, and then I was like, oh, I have some leftover stuff. I think it was, what was it? It was like a package that had been damaged, so I was gonna give it to the birds anyway. It was like lentils or something, and I was like, oh, I'll get some of that stuff to give them. And I had left like my little my little empty salad bucket outside because I was gonna throw it away when I came back out. So then I went and got my like lentils. I went back out and and I found the bird sitting on top of my thing licking mango sauce. And I was like, okay, well, you made sauce out of mango? No, it's sauce that comes out of mango. Okay. Like think how milk is made from cows. It doesn't mean that you actually, murder the cow for the milk, right? It's like you just milk the mango, okay? That's worse. How is it worse? Explain. Phrasing? Don't worry about the phrasing. You made it worse, Click. I disagree. That is way worse. Isn't mango male? I think that's up to the imagination of the viewer. Which kind of milking procedure are you into? Is it yeah, so anyway, we have some subreddits to read today. So whoa. Hey, am I the butt? Oh damn, I am not centered in the least, am I? There we go. Wow, fixed it. I am a genius. Welcome, Chad, to r/AmITheButt, where strangers go to the internet to get our input, whether or not they are the butthole in a situation. And we are experts on this. Oh wow, Chad. Oh wow, you'll be happy to see this. When we scroll down a little bit, Chad, okay. Hold on to your pantyhose for this one. When we scroll down a bit, there is a post about frequencies. There is a post about frequencies, chat. You want to read the post about frequencies? You want to read the post about frequencies? You like that? Yeah? No? Not again? Oh, you like the frequencies, don't you? Oh, the frequencies. Oh, the frequencies. The frequencies, chat. All of them. There's so many frequencies. Okay. What's the frequency joke? So the joke is that we had a stream a while ago, and there was some random ass post about like the dog whistle device or some shit, and I don't know why, but everything went to shit, and people started derailing the conversation into like wild territories when in reality it was just a story about like, oh yeah, my neighbor's dog is annoying, can I get a dog whistle thing? And then for some reason the conversation blew up and it like escalated into weird territories, man. And hence, it's a running gag now. Like the gaycation, but a more annoying one. The gaycation is fun, apart from the cult aspect. But cults can also be fun. They can be gay. Here we go, baby. This one I sort of appreciate because gender reveals are unhinged. Okay? So this is gonna be fun. Frequencies and gaycation. No, don't combine the two. It's like crossing the beams in Ghostbusters. It's not gonna be good. We can cross our beams. Did you do that when you were kids, like crossing the beams? Like you pee with your bro and you're supposed to like make a cross? I shat together with a friend once because we had like one of those outhouses at the countryside that has like 2 holes because you're supposed to poo in them like every other time because it, composts more evenly. So anyway, we went to the bathroom at the same time, and we just sat and laughed and shat at the same time. It was pretty good vibes. Hold up, what? What do you mean, what? Click, thank you for the string of information. You're very welcome. So we crossed the beams, and we also crossed the shit. Yeah. Yeah. I shat with my friend one time. I did, though. I'm still friends with this man today. Alright? We have been friends for like 30 years. That's when you know a relationship is going great. You've been friends for 30 years, and you have pooed together. I just came in, and Click is unhinged like normal. Welcome in, Jess. I do hope you enjoy your stay. Alright, let's get in. I'm just warming up for this kind of story, because it's going to be a gender reveal story, and you know that's going to be a doozy. So I'm just like mentally scarring chat ahead of time, because scar tissue is sometimes a bit harder than non-scar tissue. Hey, so I need to know what those furry things you were talking about. I have no idea what those are. Thank you so much for being a noble lasso. Don't Google it. Am I the butt for making my sister gender reveal cake gray? Because she wouldn't tell me the gender. That's the most soulless cake I don't think I have ever heard of a gray cake. Oh my, how do you even make a gray cake? Can you buy gray coloring? That sounds like the most boring thing. Oh, what theme do we have on this cake? Pavement. It looks like gravel. I, 22M, bake as a hobby, and I'm actually pretty good at it. Like, I get paid under the table for weddings and baby showers, kind of good. So no taxes on that bad boy, no taxes on this gray cake. My sister is preggo and wanted me to make the cake for her gender reveal. Cool, no problem. I asked her to send me the info so I could prep the inside classic pink or blue filling. She says, "Oh no, I want to be surprised too. Just make it neutral for the reveal and we'll find out together." But how is the cake supposed to reveal it? Like, don't get me wrong, I have never been to a gender reveal party, so this is very alien and weird to me in the first place, but neutral for reveal means outside. Oh, so they just like bring out like a blue cake, and it's like, it's a boy. She thinks that OP naturally knows. I want to be surprised too. Just make it neutral for the reveal and we'll find out together. But how? What do you mean? You're gonna make like an ultrasound or something like at the cake party or what? I am so confused how this gender reveal is supposed to work. What? Anyway, let's keep reading. Maybe there are answers further down. I am gray, guys. Congratulations. Oh, the name is Cake. That's very funny. I was like, huh? So you want a gender reveal cake with no gender revealed? She says she will have someone email the info to me later. But that someone never did. Oh, okay. So she's like, hey, doctor, don't give me the results. Email my brother the results so he can make the cake. So that's the plan, I guess. So she wants to be surprised too. But that didn't work out. What gender is my baby, doc? Concrete. Oh, no. A deadline comes and I still have no gender. So I make the cake. It's gray inside, gray outside. Just full on cement vibes. I even added little fondant clouds for effect. It still tasted great, but visually, grim as hell. The reveal day comes, they cut into it, and my sister looks pissed. Her husband is confused, people start murmuring, then she pulls me aside like, why would you make it gray? That's so passive-aggressive. Calmly reminded her that no one told me the gender. I literally had no data to work with. I told her I wasn't about to go guess or full improv on someone's baby cake. That would have been pretty fun, though. That would have been pretty fucking funny. Just like, you get to decide the gender of your sister's kid. This is also marked as the butthole. I mean, this just sounds like shit communication overall, to be honest. But this is sort of the downside, right? With how should I put this? Delivering services to friends and family, right? That's always a challenge. Because let me give you another example that is related to this, right? On occasion, I will get an offer from someone who is like, hey there, I just like your channel, for example. I can edit a video for free. And it's like, wow, that sounds pretty generous. But I never accepted. And the reason is that I want someone that I'm paying, partially because it feels fair, but also because I want to be able to tell them when something isn't up to snuff. You know, if they have agreed to like deliver in a certain time frame or, you know, deliver a certain length of video, whatever it might be, I can always be like, hey, we agreed on this amount for this thing, so this needs to be delivered. When someone offers to do something for free, it's kind of just hanging in the open. It's like, I hope they end up doing what they said, otherwise my schedule is going to be fucked. So that's always been my little thing with those kind of stuff, at least. I mean, to be fair, I have played at friends' weddings and that sort of stuff, like live music, but I never charge for it. Anyway, now my mom says I'm embarrassed her in front of the family and that I should have tried harder. Tried harder to do what? Summon the gender through vibes? Oh, my favorite gender. The vibe. Sparkle emojis. OP is butt. He could have made a cake that wasn't sad and grey and grim, passive-aggressive butt. Yeah, if I was OP in this instance, I would have just made a normal-ass cake. I would have just made a normal cake. Just like, ooh, it's tasty. And then, you know, if the sister pulls you aside, it's like, yeah, the person never sent me the gender, so I just made a generally nice cake. I would have done that. Like, I wouldn't even say that this fuck-up is on the sister. It sounds like it's more on the person who was supposed to send the information, because the sister is kind of in the blind. Like, don't get me wrong, gender reveals are kind of alien to me. I think it's kind of weird, but, you know, it sounds like the fault is with the person who's not actually a part of the story. It's a human! Ooh. So am I the butt for making the most neutral reveal cake? And I actually did follow up, asked her a couple of days before the reveal if the info had been sent, and she just said something like, yeah, someone is taking care of it. I figured it was handled. Didn't want to pester her since she seemed chilled about it at the time. Okay, so the person did actually follow up as well, but kind of got, like, blown off anyway. This is what I mean with, like, providing services for free or whatever, you know? The privilege, when you're doing it on a professional level, is that you can just fire shitty clients. Instead of making, like, a gray cake, you just be like, you seem complicated. Bye. You know? Sometimes I love the professional vibes. I'm confused. Did you not take the opportunity to message the date was coming closer to tell your sister? I haven't gotten the info. I actually did follow up after a couple of days before the reveal, and she just said something like, yeah, someone's taking care of it. So weird, man. So weird. You couldn't have made it yellow and baby themed or something? Yeah, that's what I would have done in this situation. If I had actually signed up for this, I would have just made like a generic birthday-ish kind of cake. Or maybe with like a big 0 on top of it. Like, ooh, you know, it's 0th birthday or whatever. You know, something like that. Just make it cutesy or whatever. But grim cement vibes. It's like, everyone just kind of sucks here. But let's make a little poll about it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Who is butt? OP, sister. Oh, wait, why didn't it switch? Sister, or everyone sucks. Booyah, baby. Democracy. Oz covered this one and now clicky. Man, some people can just read the future thanks to Oz. I need to message him and be upset about that. Like a true friend. Hey Oz, if you're listening to this, stop reading my posts ahead of time. That's reasonable, right? That's reasonable. I feel like I'm reasonable in this. It's all Timmy's fault. Fuck, it's supposed to be okay. Everyone sucks is basically Timmy. Who is butt? It seems like everyone sucks is the winner. Some people think the sister is the butt, and 10% thinks OP is the butt. I mean, yeah, everyone did butty things, right? The sister was being weird. She should have been more like, oh shit, the person who I'm relying on hasn't sent the info. I should go put some pressure on them. The person who made the cake was a bit weird, that they're like, oh my god, I didn't get all the info. Let's make a shitty cake on purpose. And the person who was supposed to communicate the gender messed up the most. It's like, everyone is just kind of weird. I'm like, meh? Maybe the a-hole is the friend we made along the way. Oof. It's not about the destination, it's about the butthole. Yeah, that's a good saying. That's a great saying. If OP is a baker and has experience with gender reveals, then they made a grey cake before. I am so surprised how they got the grey coloring. I don't think I've ever seen grey coloring like in baking departments. I saw a fun story. This one. Yeah, this is the one I had in the thumbnail. I wanted to read this one because it sounds like one of those things that is like, sounds petty, but then it sounds like it just turned into something huge, which is really funny. Am I the butt for not letting my boyfriend come on vacation with me because he's a picky eater? And this is what I saw first. Edit, I'm breaking up with him. Corgi, thank you so much for sending 10 members, you beautiful bean. Hell yes. That is so nice. Thank you. After seeing a glimpse into my future via your responses, I realize I cannot do this and it will eventually wreck us. Thank you. Here's the first sentence. I'm dumping him. My boyfriend has tons of food restrictions and is picky in general. He basically can only eat chicken fingers, grilled cheese, mac and cheese, and pad thai. That's like an odd... I mean, it's a pretty diverse combination, but that will make it difficult, yeah. I have never seen him eat a vegetable. A cucumber. We just started dating a few months ago and I love him, but I eat everything and I'm very laid back. I know I will have to plan my entire day around finding food he can eat, on top of listening to him complain that things aren't the same. Even if a restaurant does have chicken fingers or mac and cheese, it won't be the same as what we get at home, and I just don't want to hear about it while I'm on vacation. Am I the butt? I feel bad. That sounds really complicated. Giving memberships to celebrate that I closed my first home Friday. Hell yeah, that sounds amazing. Congratulations, that is beautiful. Living the dream. Booyah. It's autism? You think? I mean, maybe. I've heard that, like, some people that are on the spectrum sometimes appreciates food that is predictable. Does that make sense? I have heard that. I don't know enough about it myself. But, yeah, maybe. Maybe. N.A. narcissistic. What? ARFID? I don't know what that is. ARFID. What is ARFID? Hold on. ARFID. Oh my god. Why is it in Swedish? Personer med ARFID undviker viss mat, till exempel på grund av sensoriska egenskaper som smak, konsistens, lukt eller utseende. So basically, people with ARFID will avoid certain food, for example, due to sensory stuff like taste, consistency, smell, or appearance. They can also experience fear for negative consequences from eating, like choking or stuff like that. Sometimes the individual has a low appetite. Alright, fun. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's due to that, it's quite understandable. It's not something the boyfriend can help. But also, if she is very much a foodie, it sounds like she really enjoys trying new things and going to places and traveling and, munching on strange food and stuff. Then it's gonna be a match made in hell in either way, So I'm like, I wouldn't say anyone is the butthole. It just sounds like a terrible match. I'm gonna be honest. It just sounds like one person is a picky eater, which is fine. You're allowed to be a picky eater. One person sounds like they're very experimental with their eating. That is perfectly fine. You're allowed to be experimental with eating. Trying to, constantly have dates together or travel together when that's the case is gonna be really fucking annoying. So I would just say no one is the butt. It's just incompatible, It's always about life priorities. If someone really enjoys someone and their partner isn't going to be a problem. I mean, here it also sounds like, it's a very fresh relationship. They have been together for, what was it? We started dating a few months ago. So this isn't like, they aren't married for 15 years with 5 kids, This is like, they met a few months ago. Dates have been fine. But it's starting to get increasingly annoying because she's a foodie and he's very picky, So it's like, meh. Very common in autistic people, just not enough to diagnose someone just by that. Yeah, indeed, it could be due to anything, you know. So, the bar is so low. Democracy time! Okay, let's see. Who but OP, boyfriend, no one, or Timmy? Timmy's a butt. The guy's a butt because she is the one finding things for him. Like, he's making her put all the effort and complaining. Started again a few months ago, but everything was laid back. No, I know I will have to plan my entire day around finding food he can eat on top of listening to him complain things. I mean, this sounds more speculatory, right? It's like, based on what I have experienced so far, I suspect that this trip will involve a lot of food hunting, you know, instead of just enjoying the trip. Which might be fine if you're a picky eater, because that's what you would want, but it wouldn't be fun for her, because then why even go on a trip? So it's like, this sounds more, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily give me the impression that he's demanding that she chases for food for him. It just sounds like she knows, based on other experiences, that the trip will likely involve them hunting for food a lot. But why is he making her hunt food? He's an adult. I mean, this sounds more like they're you know, going everywhere together, you know? So if he wants some specific food, they're going around together looking for it, which means that her day is going to revolve around it too. So this just sounds incompatible, man. Timmy's the butt! Timmy's the butt! Hell yes! Gotta love it when Timmy's the butt! It sounds like he assumes she will do it without demanding. I mean, I don't know. There's like literally no context in this, you know? We don't really know, honestly. I'm not gonna like demonize someone. Like, don't get me wrong, I probably wouldn't really choose to be a travel partner with it either, because I would probably get annoyed by it as well. But that doesn't mean I like dislike the person. I just realized that in this context we are gonna have friction, so it's a stupid idea for us to do this specific thing together. You know, that's fine. We need way more context in this post. Yeah, based on this, it's not enough to demonize anyone. I just see like incompatible stuff, honestly. Something similar would happen if her partner develops an allergy, so she is still kind of the butt, but he shouldn't expect her to do all the food searching. Yeah, but I mean, even like, no, I still wouldn't call her the butt, honestly. I mean, allergy, I mean, I guess the comparison you're making is like, the allergy isn't something he chose, and this probably also isn't something he chose, you know, it's something like that. I'm guessing the logic is. But even if it's, I don't know, imagine if she's like crazy about fucking nuts, and she wants to explore every peanut factory in the world, and that's her biggest passion in life, and then she meets someone on Tinder who's deathly allergic to peanuts. It's like, well, that doesn't make her the butthole. It just sounds like they're grossly incompatible. That doesn't mean that anyone is a butthole, you know? It's like, it's one thing if you're a parent and you have an allergic child and you have a responsibility for the child. Then it's completely different, because that's the kind of stuff you sign up for when you have a child. But when you're still in the stage that you're kind of choosing the partner, you don't have to pick things that would be potential deal breakers for you, you know? It's just, you choose what to put up with when it comes to incompatible things. Every relationship comes with compromise, and then it's up to you to, you know, decide what you want to compromise and how much compromise you want to have. Butthole is a bit strong for anyone here. Yeah, I just think it's incompatible, man. Click, that's a wild example. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, I think it's a pretty, like, I don't know, reasonable example. Or say something else. Someone is like, has a super big phobia of like the water, for example. And the other person is like a uber passionate diver who travels everywhere in the world just to dive. And it's like, okay, that also sounds incompatible, you know? Because both people, someone in the relationship or both, would have to like grossly compromise their main passions or fears for the other person. That doesn't sound fun. Peanut factories are my passion. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes, or you just decide that you don't do these things together, right? Like, this kind of thing could also work if you just decide, like, okay, we recognize that we're very different with food. let's do other activities together that isn't involving eating, for example. That would also work. But it's also up to the people because eating is usually a big part of like a relationship and going for dinners and stuff, if that's what you're into. So I can also see someone not want to give that up. So it's like, meh. If you got an allergy, it's honestly your responsibility to avoid it as long as others aren't trying to cause problems. Yeah, but I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I personally disagree. Picky eating isn't a passion. No, I don't think anyone said being picky eating is a passion. I mean, I don't think peanut allergy is a passion either. Hey, baby, what's your passion? Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited about my peanut allergy. I fucking love it, man. Oh my god. Bruh. We have a good message from West here. I think when it comes to autism, it depends on how it affects a person. I have what I call safe foods. I love trying new foods, but I instinctively go for dishes that incorporate things I already know I like. I mean, I'm also a big fan of, like, familiar things, but I think it depends on the mood as well. Like, sometimes I'm perfectly fine with trying new things. Sometimes I'm like, nah, today I want to try something like that I know will just fill me up and be satisfying, you know? So, I think it depends a lot on person to person, to be honest, man. What is the next post? Am I the butt for blowing up at my sister for naming her daughter after a fungal infection? Man, this is some Last of Us shit. Oh boy. Oh my god. This is just an r/tragedy. Is this gonna be a tragedy? So my little baby girl, yeast infection. Alright, let's get into it. This is great. Am I the butt for blowing up my sister for naming her daughter after a fungal infection? So my 20M sister, 27F, and her husband have been struggling a lot with baby names. That doesn't mean you have to name her, yeast infection. She was determined to find a single perfect name. That's never good. This is the start of any tragedy story. Even by the time of her baby shower, nearly 5 weeks before the due date, she didn't seem any closer to picking something out that she was at the start of her pregnancy. Anyway, I knew she was struggling, so in addition to the $900 wooden crib on her list that I got for her, I gave her a list of obviously joke baby names. We have a really close relationship, and it was in line with both our senses of humor. She's a nurse and I am a biology student, so all the names were medications, infections, unpleasant animals, etc. Are they also in Latin? So it's like yeastus infectious, That all sound like lovely girls' names out of context. Some of them were a little obscure, sure, but I included some obvious ones like Viagra and hernia for good measure. Let me just Google. What is yeast infection in Latin? Candidasis. I haven't read ahead in this story. Is the name... Oh no, it's Malaria. It wasn't Canada. What is this? What is... It's a genus of fungi, specifically a yeast belonging to the division Basidomycota. Bruh. How does a person get this? By being pregnant and not coming up with a name. 2 weeks later, she told me her and her husband has finally settled on a name. Malacesia. The baby's name is Malacesia. One of the names in my joke list, outside of the immediate issues, nearly impossible to pronounce on the first try, the ass smack dab in the middle of it, the first syllable being mal, literally meaning bad or evil. Malicious yeast infection. Man, this is great. So she did name the kid yeast infection. She named it malicious yeast infection, to be exact. Quickly renaming to yeast infection, hell yeah, slay. It's also the name of a very common fungal infection, one that my sister and I are both genetically predisposed to, one that we have both had multiple times throughout our lives. Her daughter will almost certainly catch it at some time. Can you just imagine when the daughter goes to the doc for the first time with their little yeast infection that runs in the family, and the doc is like, yeah, you have malassezia, and she's like, what do you mean? That's my name. And the doctor is like, oh dear. Bruh. 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 I pointed it out to her, and she said that, yes, she knew what it meant, and she knew my list was intended to be a joke, but she just really liked the way it sounded. I think, on occasion, parents should lose the right to name their own child. It should be like, I don't know, an automated default name. Anything, normal and boring is better than this. Just call her, like, Steve or something. I don't know. Anything. I don't think the husband knows what it means. I think he would reject it if he did. Just tell him, please. She says that it's so obscure that no one will ever think twice about it. Except, when little baby Malazina turns 14, finds a weird spot on her neck, and goes to her phone to Google what it is. Ooh, I'm named after fungi. Call her Steve. It'll be better. My name is Steve. I haven't actually seen the Minecraft movie. I was gonna wait until the TikTok brain rot was gone from the cinema theaters. Anyway, I told her that the name was completely unacceptable, and I was shocked that she chose it. I even suggested some similar names like Mallory, Azalea, Anastasia maybe. That would be more acceptable, but she wouldn't hear it. She said that since I'm not one of the parents, I have no business telling her what she can and cannot name her child. Not to be like that guy. Not to be like, I don't know, like a man pig or whatever. But is she like a bit nuts? I don't know, man. Is this like just the pregnancy stuff talking, or like, I don't know, man. This is so bad. This is so bad. A bit? That's a strong word, yeah. Nuts, like peanuts. This next post is about picky eaters and allergies and frequencies. The frequencies of peanuts. And then I'm stepping out of line. I think it's pregnancy hormones, and she will regret this decision very soon after her daughter is born. This must be hormones. This must be hormones. Dear God, man. Malassezia is believed to be connected to dandruff. Man, that's a beautiful name. Just name her Dandruff instead. Dandruff rolls off the tongue easier, at least. Ooh, good old dandruff. You know what? Let's do a little vote on this one. Let's do a little vote. Who the butt? OP. Sister. Instead of Timmy, we're gonna write out, Malassezia? I think I actually spelled it correctly. That's fucking impressive. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Dandelion even. That'd be cute. Can I name a kid UTI? If you really try. So people are voting for the sister being the butthole, and some people are voting for Malassezia. So that's great. Melissa was right there from it. Oh my god, she could just name the kid Melissa. It would be like close enough, but it doesn't literally mean yeast infection. Oh my god, man. Bruh. That's a weird way to spell Timmy. I don't want to hear these complaints, Chad. Otherwise, we're gonna read a story about frequencies, okay? Don't make me read a story about frequencies. Behave. Yeah, you see? Yeah, better behave. Anyway, so people think the sister is the butt in this instance. That's great. Yeah, she's really weird. She's just a straight up tragedy. I wonder if this story has been reposted to r/tragedy. It should be. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This one has not enough info, but a lot of upvotes and comments. That's kind of interesting. Might be a controversial one. Am I the butt for refusing to let my daughter's fiancé stay in our guest room because I use it for my hobby? Oh. Will you ever play Half Sword again? Oh, maybe, if they release new content and stuff. I think I've played most of the stuff in the game that's so far, but if they release new stuff, hell yeah. Ooh, indeed. What's the hobby? We will see. Gooning. The hobby is gooning. So I am 49, might be in the wrong here, but I honestly don't think I am, and would love to hear outside perspectives. From the internet chat, this is us. We are the outside perspectives. Step it up. He is counting on us. My daughter, 23F, got engaged recently and came to visit us with her fiancé, 24M. We live a few states away, so I get that traveling is tiring, but we were happy to host for the weekend. Now, I've had my guest room set up for my miniature wargaming for the past few years. Oh, valid hobby, baby. Hell yeah, even better than gooning. It's my space where I go to decompress after work, and it's honestly the only spot in the house that's fully mine. It's a miniature man cave. Warhammer? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Warhammer. Like miniature wargaming. It doesn't say explicitly Warhammer, but that's one of the more popular ones. My wife has the sunroom, and the rest of the house is kind of communal. I mean, that's nice. You both have, like, your own little space, and then the rest of the house is for everyone. That's pretty nice. Like, I think that's pretty nice. If you have enough space to do that, I think that's healthy. Just to have, like, a little hobby room and stuff, you know? That's nice. I have got thousands of dollars of models in there, custom terrain, a 3D printer setup, etc. It's not just a hobby. It's an investment and, frankly, a form of art. I mean, yeah. It is. If you get that deep into like miniature stuff, it's quite serious. Anyway, when they arrived, I had the office couch made up for them. Pull out, memory foam, decent blanket, very clean. My daughter seemed fine with it, but her fiancé kind of made a face, and later asked why they couldn't just sleep in the guest room. I told him plainly that it wasn't available because it's not a guest room anymore. It's my studio. Later that night, my daughter confronted me privately and said I was being selfish and ridiculous that it's just for 2 nights. She said they felt unwelcome and like I was prioritizing plastic figurines over family. Yeah, I mean, I can compare this pretty well actually to my own place, right? Because I have this studio that used to be an extra bedroom, right? And I rebuilt it into a studio. I still have a tiny bed right here on the side of my desk, and when I have friends crashing over, for example, you have a New Year's party and someone is staying late and they don't want to drive the same night, that kind of stuff, I always let them crash on the bed if they want to. Having an extra bed is very nice, and it's nice to be able to offer that in context when it matters. But I'm not it would be difficult to let someone stay for an entire weekend because it's a place I need for my job. So it's going to be weird because it's going to be their room for the weekend, but I'm also going to need the room for work and all that kind of jazz. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, and also on top of that, they are already invited to the house, you know? It's like if they don't like it, they can just get an Airbnb. That's the thing. He had a full king-size bed in the room. Wait, really? In the studio? Well, then it's not a guest room anymore. Yeah, exactly. It's a room with an extra bed, but the room itself isn't a guest room. And that's sort of like where, for me, it turns into a gray zone, where it's like you have the extra bed for people to crash, but it's usually like meant for kind of one-night sleepovers. It's difficult to have people stay there over days and days because the space is needed for other stuff. Why is there a wasp in my room? Well, it's going to sting me at some point. Anyway. I told her that's not fair, and they have a place to sleep. It's not like I made them sleep on the floor. Now my wife is giving me the cold shoulder and said I could have just packed up for the weekend. But again, it's not like these are toys you just throw in a box. Some of them are fragile. Some are half-painted. I don't want to spend days reorganizing and then undoing all that work just because they didn't like the setup. I'm still confused whether there is like a bed that is ready to be used in this room, or if he has to like restock his entire hobby room to like unfold the bed. They left a day early, and I'm getting a text from my daughter about how I chose my hobby over her happiness, which just seems drastic to me. I might be the butthole because maybe I could have moved some stuff around for a few nights, but I really don't think it's fair to expect me to dismantle my entire setup just because they didn't want to sleep on a perfectly good pullout. I have a right to my space too, right? I mean, this is that kind of instance where I feel like it's just like generally speaking an overreaction, you know? If I personally go to someone's house and I get to sleep there for free, I'm gonna take whatever space I can. last time I slept over at a friend's place when I was visiting out of the city, I brought my own damn air mattress, and I slept on the floor. Alright? Like, if you're being offered to stay in someone's place for free, you take what you get. Alright? Like, bruh. This seems very spoiled, kind of. So I think it's an overreaction. Would I feel weird about it if it's like, oh, they have a completely empty guest room, and I'm still sleeping on my air mattress? Yeah, I would have thought it was a bit weird, but I probably wouldn't have made a fuss about it, because I'm still staying in someone's place for free. So it's like, meh. It just seems a little bit spoiled, I'm gonna be honest. It's not something I would ever make a fuss about, you know? I really hate when people touch my things in general. I'm with OP 100%. Yeah, and especially when it's like this kind of stuff, which is very expensive and very sensitive things. Like, I'm not sure I would want someone like stumbling around in the dark middle of the night with a glass of water, you know, tripping over my 3D printer. I'm like, I can see why he's skeptical, right? Like, the room is semi-sealed off for a good reason, you know? It's like, they are guests, they're acting entitled. That's what I mean. Like I said, last time I stayed over at a friend's place when I was traveling, I slept on my own air mattress on the floor, you know? I didn't have any sort of expectations on, like, fancy housing or whatever. I took the space I could get. The daughter doesn't want to sleep with her fiancé. I'm assuming the pull-out couch is, like, a big one, you know? One that's, like, you know, a queen size, basically. It pulls out on this end. Like, you know, so it's like the whole couch that turns into a bed, not the side kind of thing, right? Next time they can get a hotel room. That's usually been my kind of attitude with these sort of things as well. If I'm not comfortable sleeping on a couch or air mattress, I'll get an Airbnb or a hotel. They aren't just guests or family who treats their children like this. It's not like they were sleeping outdoors in the cold, man. Come on. They had a perfectly nice, big pull-out couch, you know, and they were staying over a weekend. Click look at the comments. Oh no, is it gonna be bad? Info, why do you keep a bed in that room if you don't want anyone to sleep there? And has allowed other people to stay in that room since it's become his sauce? What is a sauce? Is this like one of those borrowed words that I don't know what it is? Is it supposed to be space, maybe? I think it's just a typo. The O is next to the P. It's supposed to be space. I'm so lost I can't even follow this thread. There's a studio, there's an office, and now there's apparently a bed somewhere else and boyfriends making faces. If I was the boyfriend and could sleep with the dad's daughter under his own roof, I'd be calling it a win whether I was on the floor or not. All I can figure out is the guy had a hobby with the little G.I. Joe action figures, and now his wife and daughters are mad at him. The hobby room nobody sleeps in has a king-size bed in it. Where does it say the hobby room has a king-size... Wait, did I miss it? Before blank, I could go sleep in the guest room. Told them guest room anymore in the studio. I mean, it's also your house. You know, if you remake a guest room into a hobby room, that's kind of your prerogative anyway. You're the butt. You made them sleep on a pull-out couch when there's a perfectly usable king-size bed going unused. Where does it mention... Did I miss the king-size bed? In the comments, maybe? Maybe. I would still argue it's his house. You know, if I... if I, for example, had a bunch of sensitive stuff going on, like in my studio, I probably would be, like, skeptical about having people sleeping there and, like, stomping around while I was in the middle of that sensitive stuff, you know? I'm just gonna turn on some lights. Give me a sec. At the click, it has a bed, and OP lays down in between his hobby work because he has chronic pain. It should be in the comments. I mean, then it's sort of similar to my bed. It's like my power nap bed when I'm working. And on occasion, I'll take a 15-minute nap before streaming and stuff because it's long days. Oh man, that color correction is great. Let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. What if they broke something that cost thousands? Will they still yell that family is family? Yeah, that's sort of like the thing I think the comments are sort of missing in this. Like, it's really expensive shit. I think I can relate to this pretty well because I have a studio with a bunch of expensive, relatively sensitive things. Like, I have a computer with cables going everywhere, right next to the bed. It's lights and cameras and things and swords on the walls and shit. It's like, It's not as sensitive as this, but it's of course like, you have to think twice about it. And also like people acting like a pull-out couch is so bad. Man. And my husband is in the middle of painting his first 40k army, so I get it. It can be a lot, but you still need to balance it with your interpersonal connections. Yeah, but I mean, it's not like he made them sleep in the yard. You likely just assured that your daughter will deprioritize spending time with you. Be prepared for the fact that she will likely spend time with her in-laws over you and your wife on holiday since you lack the care to make them comfortable. Also be prepared for the fact that it's going to make your wife resentful. I couldn't imagine putting a hobby before my kids being comfortable. I feel like comments like these just make everything so black and white, man. But it's also not like they're children who would destroy his stuff. No, probably not. But it's also like what I said, I mean, for me it's work, so maybe it's a bit different. But for me it's also the fact that, staying in a room for longer, which has a dual purpose, means that it's not technically a guest room. So being in it for like several days means that it's off limits. Or you're gonna have to like do hobbies in it while they try to have it as their own room and stuff. Like, meh. I sleep on the couch when visiting my mom, lol. Yeah, I do that too. When I like visit family and stuff. Like I said, when I visited a friend in a different town, I slept on the floor on an air mattress. When I visited my parents, I slept on a pull-out couch. When I visited one of my siblings that was studying in a different city, I slept on just a regular couch, I think. And so on. My husband and I haven't stayed at my parents' house in the past 20 years. Nor do we stay with my brother and sister-in-law anymore. We get a hotel now. Yeah, John, that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, usually that's like... that's sort of my attitude, too, with these sort of things. I'll gladly crash on the floor. I'm not very picky. But if I'm staying somewhere for many days, for example, and I feel like I want to have my own space, I'm going to go on my own adventures and stuff, for example, exploring a city, and I happen to have friends in said city, and I'm planning to stay for a while, I'm going to get a hotel room. People acting like sleeping on a pull-out couch is a torture method. Yeah, that's what makes me so weirded out about like this black and white comments. If I'm crashing at a family's place, I'm already staying somewhere for free instead of paying for a hotel, man. Like I'm just gonna take it. I don't really give a shit. Glad to catch another stream. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so very much. But maybe people have different opinions about it. Obviously, this one. I think comments like this, it's more about the gesture rather than the practicalities. And I also know that I, for example, am a very practical person. Like for me, for example, a bed is still better than a pull-out couch. Yeah, it is. But if I visited someone in family and I was sleeping on a couch, I wouldn't fucking think twice about it. I would just be like, oh, sweet, free couch. I don't really give a shit. I wouldn't see it as like a gesture of some kind, or, oh, they're prioritizing something over me. It's just, oh, fuck you, free couch. No, I don't know, man. I think if they don't start to touch my hobby stuff and only use the bed, then it's okay. I mean, yeah, of course. You're not obligated to have a king-size bed when you have a perfectly fine pull-out couch. Why are people so entitled? Yeah, that also seems like a little bit spoiled, right? Like another time when I took my partner to a different city for a Swedish celebration. We visited a couple of friends who lived like in a small apartment. We also brought like an air mattress, and we slept on the floor, 2 people on the same air mattress. It works fine. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's a cultural thing. In some places, maybe it would be okay, but I could not imagine doing this to family guests. I don't know, man. I think people are taking this to... Maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. But it just sounds like people are making it a big deal. Why don't move the guest bed into where the sofa bed is and move the sofa into your studio? Honestly, I didn't think about that. That could be a good idea. Though I doubt the bed would fit nicely in the office. I mean, that's not a bad idea, honestly. Just kind of like refurnish the house a bit so the studio is no longer like an awkward in-between where it's just, no, this is only a studio. There is only a couch. Bam. That's not a bad idea. Since the office where your wife works, don't do this without consulting her. Oh. so I mean, then we'll see if the wife wants them to sleep in her office for several days. We'll see if that... Not if she starts her own Warhammer collection. The kid's an adult, the room's purpose doesn't matter. Yet to me, it's just like one of those things where it's like, if there is an available guest room, use it. If someone tells me to take a pull-out couch when I'm visiting for free, no matter who it is, I'll just take the couch. I don't know. It just seems like people being... How should I put this? The problem is this big, and the argument that's like stemming from it is this big, right? Like, if this was me, I would literally shrug it off. I probably wouldn't even register it. I would just go to sleep in my damn couch. I'm tired, man. Fuck. Your daughter thinks you chose your hobby over her comfort, and let's face it, there's never been a comfortable night's sleep on a pull-out couch in a common area that anyone wandered through. What? This is bullshit. I mean, depending on how much of a deep sleeper you are, though, but I when I was visiting family, more frequently in the summers, down in, like, Switzerland, I was sleeping on a pull-out couch in the living room for like a week straight. It is fine. What are you talking about? Bruh. What? I need a very comfy pull-out couch. I mean, maybe it's a shitty pull-out couch. I mean, I think the one I slept on was pretty good, actually. But I mean, it's not as good as a proper bed. But it's fine. You're not staying there forever. And that's exactly what you did. If you want your daughter to visit, make your house a place she wants to visit. You didn't. You're the butthole. I don't know, man. If there's really this much friction between like a pull-out couch and a bed, get a hotel or whatever the fuck. Oh my god, who cares? It's all just a bit dramatic. Yeah, that's my thing with this kind of stuff. It's like, oh, is he being low-key a butt for not like offering the room that was previously a guest room? Yeah, sure, I guess. Are they being weirdly entitled about like how to structure a household that's not theirs? Yeah. Is this whole thing blowing up to an insane extent? Yeah. Like, if I was either of those people, I would just shrug it off. Bruh. Okay, I'm gonna put this up for a vote, man. Who is butt? OP, daughter, everyone sucks, or like no one sucks, parentheses, just drama, or whatever. I don't know. I would just leave it at no one sucks. I think that's good. There's no room for Timmy, sadly. There's only 4 options, sadly. Go drink water. I'm drinking right here. Dear God, chat. Dear God. At the click, not all of us have that fancy IKEA pull-out. The fancy Swedish make click. You know what's so funny about that joke? It's that IKEA is like one of the most affordable options. This little couch I have here, okay? I mean, this isn't the pull-out... Oh, damn, I can barely see it. But this one, you know the little couch I have here? That you can kind of see... Oh, my crow friend is outside the window. Oh, he's such a good boy. I love him. Anyway, he was probably looking for fresh babies to eat. But that couch, anyway, it's not like a full-on pull-out couch, don't get me wrong. But it is an IKEA couch. And I bought it for the studio because it's, like, easy and simple and stuff. It costed $90. Okay? $90. So it's like, yeah, it's robust and I like it. I bought it because I like it. But also it's $90. Bruh. I get that couches aren't comfortable, but it's better than waking up in a few years with cancer. Resin 3D printer fumes are not good for you. I mean, I would assume the room has, like, sufficient AC if he's sitting there, like, hours on end painting and printing stuff, right? So, it's probably not good with fumes, but I'm also assuming it's not actively being used as you're sleeping there, right? But yeah. I also probably wouldn't want to sleep in a room that smells like paint and printers. You know. Grim Night Owl, thank you for... Okay, let's see. Who's the butt? Not a lot of people are saying OP. Some people are saying daughter, which I misspelled. Then some people are saying everyone sucks and no one sucks. Yeah, that seems pretty fair. It's like low-key entitled, but in reality it just seems like, you know, the sort of situation where it's just like, this doesn't really even need to be an argument. Is the hobby guest room your daughter's former bedroom? No, it's always been a guest room. Why couldn't they stay in your daughter's room? This room became the office. Uh-huh. Okay, so the office is the wife's room. Did your daughter know all this? This is the most important question. You always had a guest room and your daughter had a bedroom. Now she's 23 and no longer have her bedroom or guest room. I understand her feeling unwelcome. I mean, I also wouldn't expect to have like a room in a house I don't live in. You know? I'm like, I would fully expect someone to refurbish a room I used to live in years after I moved out. I don't know. What do you mean? 23 is pretty young, to be fair. I mean, but they're literally like engaged and have their own house and that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't really expect that. Some people live very safe and cushy lives if sleeping on a pull-out couch is a deal breaker. Thank you for the 5 MS. That's sort of like my takeaway too. I mean, maybe I got like despoiled because I was like sleeping in like very wild conditions when I was like a student or traveling, and I still sleep on like fucking air mattresses, you know, because I don't really give a shit. Is the daughter like 18, 19? No, she's 23. 23. It's your house, you don't have to have guests or people over, but don't expect her to want to come visit, especially with a partner, and if she ever had kids to her. But I mean, if kids are in the picture, then I would imagine, you know, you make an extra effort, you know? 2 23-year-olds, it's like, when I was 23, I slept on whatever the fuck, you know? One time when I was visiting, like, a cabin in the woods where there was a party, I literally slept in like a back-folded seat in a damn car. Like, I don't know, man. We had this rule at uni when we went to, like, party places that had, like, sleepover opportunities. I'm making this example because I was about the same age, right? I was about 23-ish. The rule was, like, you... Is there even... Yeah, call dibs is a good translation. You call dibs on a bed with your body, meaning that if you want a bed, go to sleep early. Some people never even went to sleep. Some people slept on the damn floor. I remember some dude just fell asleep on a random table. I mean, maybe that's a bit extreme, but like, I don't know, man. I've seen some shit. Pull-out couch ain't that bad. I stopped thinking of my parents' house as home when I was 22. Home was my apartment. Daughter is still living in childhood, and Reddit here is acting like a pull-out bed is the same as made their LGBT kids homeless. Sort of, yeah? I get like an odd vibe from this. Like, you know, because 23, if they went to uni at like, I don't know when you go to uni in the US, 19, something like that. She's already been out of the house for like 4 years, man. Like, she's not old, but it's been a while, you know? Another time, we were staying over at a friend's place, and it was way too small. And it was like kind of out in the middle of nowhere because we were going airsofting in the woods. So what we did is that we borrowed a big military tent, and we had like bunks in a military tent in the damn yard, and that's what we slept in. She's engaged. She's out of the house. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they are adults, you know. Fiancé wanted privacy to get laid. Couch had memory foam. Ooh! Oh, is that what it is? The problem was the memory foam? Oh, nah. Oh, nah, bruh. Ooh, man. I mean, also, if you're visiting... This is my point, okay? This is also my thing when it's like... If I'm going somewhere with my partner, right? For example, if we're going to a different city to visit friends or something. If I'm going by myself, I am very likely to just, like, sleep on an air mattress on the floor. If I go with a partner... and you're staying for more than just one night, I am much more likely to get a room of some kind. because you would want the privacy for exactly that sort of stuff, right? I wouldn't want someone frickin' in my hobby room. Maybe he was worried they were gonna get different sorts of paints on the figures, you know? Mess up that sweet Warhammer paint. The compromise would be to keep the clothes in the office, but they could sleep in the guest room. As adults, and as my child, I would trust her to keep their hands off your items. He mentions he views her fiancé as erratic and clumsy. He does not trust her fiancé, and he's making that very clear. The bed is not the real issue, it's the obvious mistrust. I mean, clumsy doesn't necessarily mean malicious. It can just mean that, you know, if the fiancé is prone to, like, I don't know, trip over shit in the middle of the night. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I know they wouldn't touch my stuff, but I feared an incident. I mean, it depends on how crowded the room is, I suppose. But, you know, if you have sensitive figurines and cables and everything all across the floor, and people are gonna be like, not click skull emoji. If Brady's gonna knock something over. Yeah. Just got back from job interview, wish me luck. Hell yeah, good luck. I do hope it went well. Why people want to frick in the guest room of in-law for 1 or 2 nights. If they had like more of those kind of intentions, I would just get like a hotel room, man. That's where you get the privacy. 1% story. Why not combine your office with your figure? I mean, this is like Reddit getting into rabbit holes of discussing how a house, we don't even know what it looks like, how they should arrange furniture. Fuck me, man. Do you have an actual bed in that room? They apparently have a king-size bed in there. Holy poo. And wargaming, you have time to pack some toys and make your future son-in-law comfortable. This dude for sure is the butt. Meh, I don't know, man. This whole thing feels like drama. I'm gonna be honest, man. I feel like everyone is just like weirdly uptight. Yeah. Clicky wiki, drinky water. I drank water like 2 minutes ago, chat. Relax. It's 2 nights. My God. Yeah, I know, right? Why is such drama? It's not even like a serious situation. It's like, ooh, you're deciding where to sleep for 2 nights. Bruh. People just haven't experienced student life. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think I got so much less spoiled during the years when I was a student. Because, like, you slept in all kinds of, like, weird fucking contexts, man. You know? Anyway. Am I the butthole for refusing to take my low-functioning sister out with me and my other sister? Almost 2 years later. Wait, what? Okay, so this is an update from like an ancient story. Let me go to the profile. I'm just gonna switch windows because sometimes profile has like not safe for work stuff on them. Almost 2 years later. Where's the OG? Here's the OG post. Okay, so let's read the OG and then let's read the update. All right. Oh, this feels like it's gonna be juicy. It's marked like not the butthole. 2,000 upvotes, 400 comments. Doesn't seem super controversial. All right. Let's see what we got here. This title seems like a heckin' doozy, man. It sounds bad indeed. Yeah, right. This title gives me vibes. Am I the butt for refusing to take my low-functioning sister out with me and my other sister? I'll keep this short. I'm 18 with 2 sisters, Missy, 15F, and Macy, 19F. Macy is high needs. So that is the 19-year-old. The older sister is the high needs one, so she's 19, okay. Having a 4-year-old's mindset, needing help 24/7. Growing up, I often felt like I was an afterthought. But I get my parents were just dealing with the cards they were given. Missy is unusually super independent, but I started shutting everyone out. So Missy is the 15-year-old, the younger sister in this case. Kind of like I used to. She's like 2 different people, outgoing at school, quiet to herself at home. I mean, I suppose that could be a reasonable, response. It's a bummer. It just sounds like a bummer of a situation. So I've been trying to take her out more, break the chain as best as I can. Now, Missy and I planned this weekend trip to celebrate me snagging my first car. We both stayed up, and my parents were totally cool with it. So I let them know, and my mom asked if Macy could join. Macy is the 19-year-old that was high needs. Cool parenting tip for gold paint. Do a pink base coat, tested it, and it works. Ooh, hell yeah. Glass children. Not liking Lord of the Rings is a huge red flag. Middle child syndrome. Oh yeah. I shut that down real quick. Macy's not a fan of trips, especially long ones. And the whole point was for me and Missy to have some quality time. My mom agreed reluctantly, but my dad later pulled me aside saying it's their chance for a night alone. And it's a way for me to show appreciation. That one night wouldn't ruin our lives. That sounds manipulative, especially considering, here's the thing, Macy, who was the high needs child, don't even like these sort of trips. So they're like tossing the high needs child on the other two while they're doing something that a child won't like for the sake of the parents? Man, that just sounds like, I mean, the parents are probably having a tough time too, don't get me wrong, but like get a babysitter or something in that case. In that case, you want to get a babysitter. Like, this is, no fam, this is not how to do it. Now I'm stuck. I feel super poopy for not wanting to take Macy, but at the same time, how is it fair to me and Missy? I just need some unbiased opinions. And also, you're not the parent. You are not the parent. I mean, I could sort of, I could give, like, the other perspective some points if Macy herself was like, oh my god, I really want to go with my sisters on this thing, you know? It's like, oh, they're doing this thing that they know that Macy really likes too. Then it would be kind of one thing, right? But now they're actively doing something, have planned and informed everyone that they're doing it. It's something that Macy doesn't even like, and the parents are trying to dump Macy on the other kids, despite Macy not even being interested in it, for the sake of the parents. Like, that's not cool for anyone, man. The hell? Like, that alone makes this, like, out of the gray zone and just straight up, bruh. One high needs kid and they had two more kids? Oh, that's like, yeah, they had, this is the older one, actually, yeah, you're right. Update. A lot of you are asking the same question. I'll go ahead and try to answer them. Yes, Macy does have a caregiver all week during the daytime, while everyone is at work/school. I also spend time with Macy, the same I do with Missy. We watch movies, read books, we call her, etc. I definitely will tell them that I am not bringing Macy on a trip, and it's a non-negotiable, and tell them that maybe I could watch her for a weekend while they do whatever. I guess when he said appreciation, he was referring to going half of my car. But that's also not fair. Like, either the car is a gift or it's like a payment for another compromise. Like, you don't give people gifts to hold it over their head. Like, that's not the point of it. Come on, man. I will also tell them that I do not plan to take care of Macy when they get older or pass away, and they need to start looking for somewhere for her to go. That's the harsh reality of it, but also reasonable, because I imagine that the sister would either want like a family of their own, or would want to be like, you know, free, basically. So that's certainly on the parents to figure out. It definitely will bring up the year's worth of neglect and how sooner or later they will lose both of their daughters. I really appreciate everyone's advice in the comments. It made me feel less alone. I definitely will be showing them the comments. I'll also do an update post either after the conversation, after a trip, depending on how it goes, which is like 2 years later now. We have the update. Lisa, thank you so much for being a last, you beautiful bean. Not the but. If your parents would like a night alone, they need to hire someone qualified to meet Macy's needs. I mean, it sounds like they already have a service, right? It shouldn't be that difficult to just extend the service for like a couple of evenings a week. I don't know how costly it is or what the financial situation is here, but if they already have caretakers, it shouldn't be that difficult to like get a few more hours at some point, you know? And then have their time alone. This trip is an opportunity for you and Missy to have time together and get a break from being glass children. Info, have your parents made arrangements for Macy's care once they are unable to take care for her? I'm not sure if they have and no one has told me. I plan to talk to them tomorrow about everything. I'll make sure to add this. There is something so odd about putting parenting duties on other kids. I was basically a dad to my brother for years. Yeah, that is not okay. Like, it's one thing to, you know, be a responsible older sibling, you know? When you, like, you can help out with stuff, or maybe if there's, like, bigger age gaps, you can, like, babysit on occasion. But, you know, you shouldn't have more kids to outsource parenting responsibilities. That's weird. Hey, a bit late watching the stream. Welcome in. I do hope you enjoy your stay. Oh my god, yeah, it's not like she never spends time with her other sister. And also, more importantly, she isn't her parent and shouldn't be guilted into being a carer because your parents want the night off. Yeah, then it's on the parents to get another carer, which it sounds like they already have a service on. So this just sounds like the parents are trying to dump this responsibility on their other kids, which is just not the way to go about it. Especially considering that these two sisters wanted to do something that Macy didn't enjoy even, but they enjoy. And they want quality time together, and it's obvious that, you know, those kind of things don't really overlap. It's difficult to do. Like a teenager road trip is difficult to overlap with, like, you know, a high need, basically 4-year-old mindset, you know. It's really difficult to, like, Venn diagram those, you know. Parents don't like it when they have to parent better. Like, I can imagine it's difficult for the parents, but this is certainly not the way to deal with it. Like, that's the thing. There's definitely some underlying frustrations, but that's an awful way of dealing with it. But let's get to the update. Am I the butt for refusing to take my low-functioning sister with me and my other sister? Almost 2 years later. Hey, so I forgot to even make a post until I was going through the old screenshots. Life got busy, a lot happened, and I never came back to update. But since the post reached a lot of people and honestly helped me more than I expected, I figured I would share how a few things turned out. Yes, Missy and I went on our trip. It was amazing. Just the two of us, blasting music, grabbing fast food, staying up late talking, and doing normal sibling stuff without pressure. That sounds amazing. That just sounds like a teenage road trip. Fuck yeah. We both really needed it. I told my parents Macy wasn't coming. They weren't thrilled, especially my dad, but they didn't stop us. When I got home, we had a real conversation. I told them everything, how I felt invisible growing up, how Missy was starting to feel the same way, and how our whole world revolved around Macy. I said I wouldn't be her future caregiver. That was when their tone changed. They said Macy would always be their priority. That told me everything I needed to know. Bruh, what? What? I mean, she's... At the time of this conversation, I guess she was 18. This update is a while later, so she's like technically an adult, right? Technically on paper, but at 18, it's not like you're an adult in that way, right? It's not like you're fully independent, most likely. Telling one of your kids that they are not the priority is, oh my god, man. It would be one thing if they said, like, yeah, Macy needs a bit more of our time still. Since you have gotten older and can take care of herself, she can't. So she still needs more attention. That's one thing. You know, that's just like a pragmatic scheduling thing. But this is insane, man. What the fuck? What the fuck? A few days later, I moved out. It wasn't dramatic. We all kind of quietly agreed it was time. I started college early and finally got some space. Hell yeah, that sounds healthy. College has been life-changing. I started therapy, which helped me work through guilt and stress I didn't realize I had. I've made new friends and started figuring out who I am outside of my family. I still go home sometimes. I still love Macy. That was never the issue. I just needed to choose myself too. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think the parents are making the massive mistake because it sounds like this sister is dealing with it super healthy, because the risk that these parents are running as well when they deal with it this way is that they risk creating animosity between the kids, you know? They're risking the other kids hating the extra needs kid because of this kind of shit, you know? Because of what they say to the other kids. So I'm really happy to see that the sister is mature enough to not make it Macy's fault. And that's really well. That's really good. That was never the issue, I just needed to choose myself too. Missy's doing better now. She's more vocal and plans to leave for college soon. My parents and I are civil, but it's different. They've started looking into long-term care options for Maisie, and they know I won't be stepping into that role. Thanks to everyone who read or commented the original post. You help more than you know. If you're going through something similar, just know you're not selfish. Choosing yourself is okay. Yeah, it is. And I mean, if it's... They should be looking into those kind of options. That's the thing. Like, you can't expect your other kids to, like, give up their life for something you chose to do, right? That's up to you to fix. And getting help for it is perfectly fine. But that's a really unfair thing to dump on someone. Why is Macy low functioning? Doesn't really say. High needs, 4-year-old's mindset. Could be anything. Could be like very, very heavily on some spectrum. Could be, something like some kind of bad thing that happened during childbirth. I don't know, man. Could be anything, I suppose. Head trauma, yeah, could be that too. I don't know. Could be a bunch of things. It doesn't matter so much. Click, these kind of people are insane. I don't know why, but I'm currently understanding my parents' perspective. You need a parenting license to be a parent. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I don't trust any government in the world to actually enforce that in a good way. But in theory, yeah, parenting license is alluring. So your kids left because you forced your job onto them, and you're still not being responsible for taking care of your own kid. Yeah, they're 18, but still. Yeah, but 18 is like, sure, you're legally an adult. That's like you can vote and stuff, but it's not like you're gonna be 100% independent at 18. You haven't had any time to like build your own finances or anything, So, meh. Making the youngest siblings the parents for Macy is wrong, especially with the fact that they aren't really there for any of them. Yeah, exactly. They even neglected the other kids growing up, as they said. So, that's harsh, man. That's harsh. My husband's mother was left with the expectation of taking care of her brother with a TBI. It took her a long time and a lot of guilt to put him in a facility, but he is much better off and happier. Yeah, and I think it's also happier because no one wants to be taken care of by someone who feels they're giving up their own life for it. Like, that's just going to be a household full of resentment. Everyone is going to be miserable, man. Saying one of their kids is a top priority to the other kid is wild, especially after neglecting said child, right? It's like, this child is our priority. It's like, wow. So the neglect wasn't enough, huh? Now you just tell me to my face. GG's, I guess. Bruh. Let's do a little poll. I barely think we need a poll. Who but OP or parents? I consider 18, 19 pre-adult, like how they're a preteen. Yeah, I mean, when I was 18, I was still in high school, So it's like, I was legally an adult. I could vote for the first time and shit, but it's like, it's not like I had my own place. I didn't have like an economy to speak of. I was still in school and stuff. So it's like adult on paper, sure, but like adult as in completely independent, nah. Click notice me, thanks for your make good. But really, why couldn't they just be there for them mentally? That goes a long way, especially when you're making them care for someone. Why couldn't they just be there for them mentally? You mean the parents for the other kids? I guess that's what you mean? Yeah, that's a fair point. Like, even if their practical daily hours are spent taking care of one who's higher need, that's fine. That's just scheduling and practicalities. But it's like the emotional part that brings the oomph, when they're like, they are the priority. It's like, ouch, that fucking hurts. 97% say parents. Woo! Who's the 2%? Probably misclicking. Or it's the parents. They said Macy would be the priority. I eyebrow raised a bit when I saw your old post that your parents had Macy first and then still kept choosing to have more children. There are so many people like this who either keep having kids or hoping for a normal or to create an unpaid caregiver. That is nuts. That's fucking insane, bruh. I worked with a family like this and I always felt awful for the siblings. Always an afterthought until the parents needed a caregiver. Nothing but guilt if they want to do their own thing. Even the little one who wasn't even 7 yet. It's gross and uncomfortable just seeing it from the outside. I can't imagine what it feels like on the inside for kids like OP. Jesus Christ, that's dark, man. Oh my god. That's such shitty parents. I guess our first child is complicated. Let's have another kid so they taking care of our child instead and we can be free. Bruh, really? Oh my god. Out of all the reasons to have kids, man. Holy shit. It's on purpose. Some people think it's funny to vote wrong. Yeah, that too, of course. And people apologizing for misclicks account for 100% of the 2%. One kid might need to be the priority. Accident and sickness happen, or maybe economically if there's a need of caregiver. Yeah, I'm sure, that's what I mean. But there's a vast difference between, like, practicalities and emotional parts, right? If the parents were still emotionally present and genuinely supportive of the other kids, then it's fine. Like, if someone in your family is like, oh my god, they're sick, or they broke something or whatever, and they need a bit more financial support to heal from whatever happened or whatever it is, it's like, of course, that's just how it goes. It's practicalities, household shit. But when they straight up say, like, you're not the priority, then it's more than just like an obvious practicality. Now it's very emotional and personal, I have a special needs niece, and her parents do want other kids, partially so she will have people there when the parents are gone, but they don't expect them to give up their lives. That sounds healthy, That sounds healthy. That just sounds like, man, it's nice for siblings to have siblings, why not? Sad world when you have kids for parentification or for an extra organ. That's what, oh my god, it's like, man, I know my liver's kind of shit and maybe I need a new one in a few years. Better have a kid so it grows up in time for me needing a liver transplant, baby. Booyah. All the right reasons for parenting. Excellent. Am I the butt for reminding my mom's best friend how awful her daughter is? Refusing to let my boss's kids eat my food. Oh, office drama, baby. Hell yeah. In February, I-19F arrived in the US as an au pair. An au pair. If you don't know how the program works, basically you're hired as a nanny, but you're not paid a lot. I get $196 per week. Because the family gives you a place to stay and food in their house, they also pay for your studies up to $500. Yeah, that's a pretty common thing. I've known a couple of people that have both worked as it and have had it at different stages of life. It was the only way I could afford to have the exchange experience, and I really wanted to take the chance, so I came. The 2 kids I take care of are great. We talk a lot, and I already learned so much from them. The problem is, it's their parents. It's always the parents. I thought this was office drama first. I thought this was like, the boss brought their kid to the office, and now they're eating all the lunch boxes in the fridge. I thought it was gonna be that. Alright, well, that was a bit of a twist. What is an au pair? It's basically a nanny. So it's very common for, like, for example, exchange students to do that kind of stuff. So you basically get free housing with a family, and then you work like part-time as a nanny, essentially. Live-in nanny, yeah, basically. Since I arrived, they told me I'm only allowed to eat the items from one cabinet, nothing else. And they will only replenish once a month. And they have cameras and will see if I try anything. This just sounds like rancid vibes, man. I wouldn't want to live with someone who has, like, little spy cameras on the pantry. Maybe food should be, like, slightly more spontaneous than this. I don't want to know if this is true, but I wouldn't steal anyway. In my cabinet, they just put tortillas, a few canned vegetables, beans, and mac and cheese boxes. No snacks, drinks, cheese, or meat, chicken, none of these. This is just a snack cabinet, man. What? I talked with my agency here, and they told me that the family is allowed to do that as long as they give me food, and I can try to match with another family and wait for the process or go back home. I don't want to give up, so I stayed. But the food thing was really getting to me, so I started to use the money to put things in my cabinet. The problem is they are super healthy, and the family is super healthy, and they don't let their kids eat Chip Ahoy, Pringles, beef jerky, stuff like that. I wasn't trying to eat in front of the kids on purpose, but I spend most of my day with them when they aren't in their classes, and I get hungry, so I eat in front of them. And they started to ask me to eat too. My money doesn't get me very far. My parents have no way of helping me, and these snacks can last for days when I pace myself. So I just told them they would need to ask their parents for snacks because I didn't have a lot to share. They did, and their mom blew up at me in front of them, telling me I had a lot of audacity denying her kids food, like you're denying the au pair food, I guess. It's funny how that irony works, isn't it? Oh my god, man. Are you really gonna, like, deny your live-in nanny food, but also yell at them? Oh my god. These parents are pieces of shit. Inside her home, that if I ate in front of them, I had to share. And that I couldn't bring this kind of junk into her home. I couldn't really say anything in fear of her just dumping me on the street, but I told her I didn't have enough money to buy an amount that I could share with her kids, or buy healthier, and that I would really like to share mine if they shared theirs. I meant the food the family eats. I don't ask the kids to share their snacks. She said I was lucky. She really needed a nanny, and that's it. Oh man, this family is such fucking Karens. I hate them already. I told my parents about it, and they think she is wrong, but that I am too for how I dealt with it. What do you mean dealt with it? You bought snacks. What? And for taking it out on the kids when it's not. You didn't take it out on their kids. You said, "Nah, sorry, this is my snacks, and your mom doesn't want you to eat this stuff. But you can ask your parents for more snacks to bring with you." Bruh. She's mad at OP for buying unhealthy food, but wants her to share the unhealthy food? I really hope I misunderstood, because that's way too stupid. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It is stupid. My au pair friends also think a-hole for denying food to little kids. No. I think that this family is a pile of poo-poos. What the hell? Would I be the butt if I kept buying junk even after she told me they aren't allowed in her home? Bruh, are you really gonna try to control your nanny in what snacks they eat on their own time? Man, power trippy kill. Yeah, this is just a power trip. This is so weird. Can you imagine even caring about what your nanny eats? Are you kidding me? Bruh. The family's treating you like this and your agency's doing nothing to help you. You're allowed nothing other than what's in the cabinet. What do you drink? Water? How do you feed the kids? Are you allowed to eat the same lunch? Yeah, it's like, this sounds like a Law and Order episode. You're essentially a slave, and I sincerely doubt this is legal. Yeah, this doesn't sound legal. It sounds really weird, man. It sounds really fucking weird. The word you're looking for is human trafficking. They brought her here under the guise that she would be treated well and receive X amount of money for nannying. However, that isn't the case. The family is using her to care for children, but not holding up their end of the deal. Basically, yeah. Yeah. Man, what a stinky family. I was reading an article the other day about how nannies are in short supply. I would leave that family and find another. You're young, on a visa, and think you have to let these people treat you however they want. That's so far from how it should be. $196 a week? That breaks down to what, $2 an hour at the end of 6 days. You're not the butt, you're just working for butts, and your agency is run by butts. Yup. Am I the butt for literally feeding myself when my boss won't? Yeah, right. Oh my god. My boss doesn't pay me a living wage, so I got a second job. Am I the butthole? $2 an hour? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many hours it is per week. It might only be like babysitting in afternoons and stuff, and like pick up the kids from school or whatever. I don't know exactly what kind of deal they have, but it's entirely possible. It's not that many hours a day. But anyway, it depends on region and all kinds of stuff, I suppose. Food is not cheap. It isn't. That's the point. Like, the parents are supposed to provide this kind of stuff, you know? Like, fuck, man. Am I the butt for eating? I'm getting paid $2 an hour and my boss is trying to starve me. Am I the butt? 40 hours usually? Oh my god, man. For this? Bruh. That's insane. Oh my god. That is insane, man. That is insane. I hope the kids see through the parents' BS. I hope so too, and I hope they become better people because they see like how shitty the parents are. Sometimes the reference goes, yeah. Am I the butt for staying alive? I don't even think we need to vote for this one. The parents are just atrocious, man. Oh my god. Am I the butt for refusing to wear a wig in my brother's wedding? Is this gonna be another one of those like weird? Oh my god, it's a doozy. Is this gonna be another one of those like aesthetic weddings? Oh my god, $196 a week and they don't provide food. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. That's like borderline slavery, man. Oh my god. Oh yes, indeed, it's wedding drama. Refusing to wear a wig to my brother's wedding. Woo! It's probably like, I am female, short hair. Brother says all females need to look more female. So, wig. And I said, what? Why do I need to wear a wig to your wedding? And now they need, I saw the word here, uniformity. So, it's about aesthetics. I call it. I'm calling it. I'm gonna make a poll. Is this gonna be about aesthetics? I don't know if I spelled that correctly. Yes. No. Is it gonna be about aesthetics? When he proposed, I was thrilled. I cheered them on from my dorm room. But this wedding has stressed everyone out, and for me, it's coming to a breaking point. Just how weddings are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be fun, they're supposed to be breaking points for the family. At the first bridal event, the bride handed out experience packages. Is this an MLM scheme? Experience packages just sounds like a way to squeeze money out of guests. For her bridesmaids, up to $3,000, including a destination trip. You can have so much fun for $3,000, man. You can do so much shit for $3,000. Oh my god, man. Bruh. Aesthetics. I am a recent college grad with an entry-level salary. We discussed hairstyles. The bridal party agreed on updos given the humidity. Months later, the bride texts me that she changed the style and wants me to wear wig. I had recently done a big chop and dyed my natural hair. A major milestone for me. Knight, thank you so much for being a member for 20 months. God damn. How many pineapple pizzas could you buy with $3,000? I think the cheapest pineapple pizza around where I live is well, the dollar decreased in value quite sharply. So I would say it's about $15 now. So it'd be what, 200? Pineapple pizzas, could that be right? That sounds about right. I think 200, right? Because 2 times 15 is 30, and then 100 times 30 is 3,000, right? So it should be 200. Yeah. It's a fucking good deal, man. Hell yeah. I asked if braids were okay. She said no, followed by text about uniformity. It's about aesthetics, I called it. I asked her to send wig details. She didn't for months. After her bridal shower, she asked if I had bought a wig, told me the stylist cost, and when I didn't respond fast enough, she still signed a contract with the stylist. Just say, eat my ass at this point. Hi there, sister-in-law, whatever it is. Kindly eat my ass, thank you. Click wear the wig for reading this one. I'm gonna be honest, I'm really sweaty. I tried to compromise. I would install the wig myself and have the stylist style it. She said no, her stylist wouldn't work behind anyone else's install. I said I was uncomfortable with both the price and the process. She replied, because you cut and dyed your hair, there is no extra cost for uniformity. Okay, oh God forbid people make life choices that aren't revolving around your little main character wedding. Holy fucking shit, man. Jesus Christ. In therapy, I think everyone is going to need therapy after this wedding, I shared how I often felt like the family scapegoat. My boundaries is defiance. My therapist said, when people get used to you're performing, they raise the bar every time. My gut said, I'm not wearing the wig. It's healthy to put your boundaries and foot down. The thing is that when you put a boundary down, the people who are usually crossing it will get mad because all of a sudden they're not getting something they're used to getting. It's all about expectations. This is so AI. You think this is AI? I don't think it's AI. AIs usually have more dashes in them. This doesn't strike me as AI. It has too many typos. Unless they added the typos on purpose. It looks too perfect. Really? I thought I caught a... I just thought the wig myself. I'm pretty sure I caught a typo that I read over at some point. But anyway. My mom called me selfish. My dad said, you were a child. You couldn't say no. Oh, in reference to the boundary stuff. Then added, if the bride doesn't get what she wants, you're out of the wedding party. Damn. I texted the bride. She respected my decision, but I could support from the crowd. Alright, fair enough. I responded, what stings is being told I can only stay if I change everything about how I show up. That's not unity, that's control. I love you, but won't disappear. She forwarded it to my family. She's been very controlling. Others have clashed with her and her maid of honor dropped out. Oh my, that's a bad sign. Holy shit, English may not be a first language. Yeah. It's weirdly worded. Might be English, might be ASL, to be honest. I know that a lot of people that are ASL still speak English in like the style of the OG language, so to say. Very specific quotes, yeah, maybe. Or they had AI like polish it. I know some people do that, you know, when they know that they're ASL and they're like, here's my text, please make this profesh. My brother says she talks negatively about our family. When I brought that up, my dad shouted that no one's on my side and blamed my mental health. I was told I shouldn't attend the wedding at all, right? Good riddance. So much for the $3,000 wedding ticket. Also, others have clashed with her and her maid of honor dropped out. Isn't that like a little bit of like a little bit of a red flag? You know, a maid of honor is supposed to be like, you know, your old bestie. Like, yas. And then the maid of honor is like, nah, bruh, I'm out. That didn't give... Okay. My brother said he didn't care if I was in the wedding party, which lifted some guilt. I told him I'll still show up as myself. Insert edit. The bride finally sent a message saying I was condescending. My choice was last minute. She's the center of this new chapter. The Bible says the wife comes first, and I kicked myself out. Isn't it like, you know, the Bible says the wife comes first to, like, the husband or whatever? She's not your wife. What the fuck? She's not the main character of the world because she got hitched. What do you mean? It's the same kind of shit when people are like, this is our little miracle baby. It's like, okay, that's fine. It's your miracle baby. It's not my miracle baby. Bruh. Bible quote, instant turn off. Yup. Amen. Lol, she's not everyone's new wife. Ooh, it's gonna be an interesting wedding. I responded with truth. With the truth. You see, this is what I mean. It's probably not AI because it's like, it's written in a weird way, right? I think it's written in like ASL sort of like style. I'd expressed discomfort early on. My words weren't cruel, they were clarifying. I shared scripture. Oh my god, they're sending scriptures back and forth. You know the argument is going great. Respect goes both ways. I respect their marriage, but I respect myself more. She sent it to my brother. He texts me, I love you, but she comes first. If you can't fall in line, you're out. No more discussion. Alright, good riddance. Am I the butt for refusing to wear a wig and standing in my truth? Either this is like ASL stuff, or they're talking in like biblical fashion, you know. Standing in my truth. Sounds like something they would say in Dark Souls. Edit, I should note that once my brother said he didn't care if I was in the party, I agreed and said I would sit in the audience and support him. This is my only brother. Of course I want to be there. I want to thank you all for comments. Currently live in a different state from my family. We're returning tomorrow. Okay, so they do live in the US. Then it's probably just written in a very like, yeehaw Bible sort of fashion, I guess. I got my hair done yesterday, so in salon, along with photos of my hair. Brother replied, you have eliminated your chance for recourse with how you acted. You're out, that's final. I've been focused on taking care of my mental health. Some commenter asked if I had a relationship with the bride. Some people said, yeah, whatever. You're out of line for not wearing a wig and not being a bridesmaid, but I feel you're making a big deal out of it. Sounds like they were okay with you not being a bridesmaid. Your brother supported you, but also sounds like you didn't do this in quite polite way. It feels slightly that you were making this about you and stirring up bad feelings. Yeah, to me, this kind of story reads like, the bride is obviously a bridezilla. Like she's obviously a piece of work to the point that the bridesmaid dropped out and everything. Like, she's obviously weird. She's a little main character. She's quoting Bible verses and arguments. Sounds absolutely insufferable. If this was me, I would just say like, I'm not really comfortable getting wigs and that kind of stuff. I'll pass on the wedding bride party, but I will support you guys from the crowd. Wish you all the luck. See you there. Boom. There you go. So I think it's like, obviously the bride is being the bridezilla, but it could also have been dealt with it in a much more effective diplomatic way. You know, it's like you don't need to escalate it. Does that make sense? No one has any right to ask anyone else to wear a wig for any reason. I mean, yeah, but that's why you turn it down. You can just like quietly acknowledge like, ugh, this person is a pile of poo, but it's not worth blowing this up in front of my family. I'm just gonna say no, and not be in the wedding party. Meh. I don't think OP really escalated. She was concerned about the price. I don't know, but it's not like, I don't know. I was condescending. My choice was last minute. I don't know. It sounds like they keep like having communication and keep doing. It's kind of weirdly written. It's a bit hard to follow here on the end, but to me, it just sounds like once you were out in the wedding party, you would have said like, "Good, I'll see you there." I don't know. As soon as people mentioned the AI, my brain shut off, so I don't understand the story at all. The bride was paying for the wig and install. Were they? Told me the stylist cost. Still signed a contract. It's a bit unclear. It's very unclear. There are now extra costs for uniformity. It's unclear who's actually paying for it. This is a weird story. It is. It is. But if it was me, I would just be like, I'm not comfortable wearing a wig. I'll pass on the wedding party. Still wish you the best of luck. I'll see you there on your big day. You know, one thing I've learned as I've gotten older is that not all fights are worth taking. That's the kind of thing. Like, this bride is obviously a bridezilla. I would want as little as possible to do with her. That includes arguments, you know. So I would just be like, nah, I'm not wearing a wig. I'm staying out of the wedding party. See you there. Whomp. There you go. Choose your battles. It's like, it's not really worth the drama, you know. She's obviously a bridezilla. Keep maintaining the discussion or keep like escalating it. Maybe not the right word, but you know what I mean. Nothing positive is going to come of it. She's a piece of work. Just like turn down the wedding party and there you go, man. Easy peasy. Easy life. Not the butt. Bridesmaid aren't your personal ornaments to your wedding. I mean, yeah, OP is obviously not the butt for it. What I'm talking about is more like strategy to how not get yourself involved with bridezillas too much, you know. OP is obviously not the butt. They should be there because they're important people in your life and not because they're the best decoration for your photos. It's no surprise how the bridesmaids are dropping. Personally, I would not have agreed to a wig at all. So the fact that you're already trying to compromise on this is above and beyond what I think should be expected anyway. Yeah, exactly. OP is trying their best. I think they just tried for too long. That's the problem, because a bridezilla like this isn't gonna budge, you know? So for me, I would just say it's more of a personal advice. It's not worth getting down in the mud with shitty people, if that makes sense. But OP is certainly not the butt. Sounds like the bride signed a contract with the stylist on behalf of OP, so bride is expecting OP to pay. That might also be some friction, yeah. Which is insane. You know, if I wouldn't pay for something that someone else signs for me unless I like very explicitly agree to it. 3 years is a long time to be resentful for your sister missing something because she had surgery. What? What? Where did that come from? What do you mean? What? Huh? What? Wait, what? Is that just a bot? I have no fucking idea, man. What? Came from chat. Yeah, came from... What? What do you mean surgery? What the fuck? Comments, maybe? Respond to comment. Oh, is it a response to a comment? What? What? I am so confused. What? Anyway. Anyway. I don't know, man. Anyway, this just sounds like drama. Don't get down in the mud with silly people. Obvious bridezilla situation. Very main character, you know. Am I the butt for refusing to sign my parents' house, which is under my name, over to my wife if I die? Bruh. This sounds like drama. Splitting houses and stuff when people pass away in wills is always a great way to blow up families. So here's the backstory. In 2008, my parents lost most of their money, and it got to the point when they were no longer able to afford their house. Someone said that she had heart surgery 8 days before her sister's wedding. Sister hasn't talked to her for the 3 years since. Oh, okay, so it was about something in chat. Oh, get rid of the poll, thank you. Okay, then it makes perfect sense. Then it was about something else in the chat. Okay, I get it. Or it was about a comment. But anyway, then it makes sense. Okay, it felt so random. It's like, man, this story on the surgeries, huh? What? Anyway. My dad is quite a bit older than my mom, and his biggest worry is that he is not able to leave her enough to live and pay for home rent without having to financially rely on me or my sister. So this is the plan we came up with. We found a house with a large lot that we bought under my name. My parents put down a significant amount of their savings for the down payment for the property and to build a detached accessory dwelling unit for them to live in. I lived in the main house for a while, and my parents lived in the other unit. The agreement was once I moved out, we would rent out the main house. I would be responsible for the main house, maintenance, repairs, etc., and my parents are responsible for the ADU. We would split any property taxes not covered by rental of the other property. I live in a very expensive area, so my parents will have a place to live for the rest of their life with no stress about being homeless. And I end up with a great investment property that I already have quite a bit of equity in. I have the house in a trust in the event of my untimely death. The ownership of the house will transfer to my parents, and then transfer to my partner offspring once they pass away. Makes sense, because it's kind of like a deal with the parents, I suppose, and they put down part of the down payment and etc. So, yeah. My wife wanted me to change the trust to have the deed of the property go to her instead of my parents. She says she of course will let them live there, but she wants control of the property if I die. Did the wife come into the picture before or after the purchase of the place? Because, like, if they bought it with their shared economy, I could sort of understand the argument, but if she just came into the picture after this was already set up, then I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel really uncomfortable signing over the house my parents paid for to her, even though it's in my name and I'm spending some money on property taxes and maintenance. I consider it their house since they have paid for everything. Part of the reason I feel uncomfortable is because when we're updating our life insurance policies once we got married... Yeah, but when did they get married, though? She made sure I removed my parents as beneficiaries and added her on as a 100% beneficiary, but then refused to add me as a beneficiary to her policy and had 100% going to her sister. What the fuck? This sounds incredibly one-directional. What? What? She is gonna kill him. Yep. This is just a murder story. This is just a murder story in the making. Am I the butt for refusing to sign over the house to her? No! It's already a one-sided deal. And I'm assuming, by the way you're talking about it, and 2008 is quite a while ago, right? I'm assuming you got married to this lady after this whole thing was already set up. I could see her side of the argument if you had bought this house and paid for it with like your shared economy, and then you want to discuss how things work and stuff, But if it's a deal and a payment you've already done and someone else depends on it and stuff, then no. Nah, man. Nah. That's scary shit. What the fuck? Yeah, here's with the life insurance. Yeah, that's some red flags. Like, that's a big one. She is covered if you die, but you aren't if she dies. Not the butt. And I consider counseling at minimum. I'm going to counseling myself, but I've not been able to convince her to go with me. I think she likes you. I think she likes what you can provide for her more than she likes you. You should lock down all your assets and change your insurance policy to your parents or your sister. She won't even go to counseling with you to help the issues. I don't think she has your best interest or your family's in mind. Yeah. She sounds like an absolute gold digger, man. Oh my god. Sorry, honey, the house is in trust. I won't change that. And change the subject. If it brings it up again, rinse and repeat. Not the but. This trust was pre-marriage. Yeah, that was kind of my question. Because if the trust is pre-marriage, then she doesn't really have anything to do with it. So she gets squat. If you can change it now, the argument could be made that it was made during marriage. Don't. I've used the argument a lot. I had this agreement before we met. But her response is that I made the agreement when I was single. And now that I have a family, the agreement needs to change. But she won't change her life insurance? Yeah, this is very, very one-way street. She is a gold digger. I would never trust someone like this. Never, ever, ever. Especially when other people depend on it, right? Like, your parents depend on this stuff to not be homeless and that sort of stuff. Like, man, you have people depending on this kind of shit, including yourself. Don't trust someone like this, man. Run. Run. This is so many red flags. The density of red flags in a text is very high. Yeah. Whoop. There we go. She just waits for the house to end OP. Is OP even safe? Updates? I mean, I'm assuming so. This post was made like, 14 hours ago. I'm assuming he hasn't been murdered in the last 14 hours. All right. Am I too late for frequencies? We gone over the frequent stuff yet? Ooh, the next post is gonna be about frequencies. No, it's about deodorant. But maybe the next one is about frequencies. Oh, baby. Oh, here is one that's butthole. Hell yeah, that's fun. Am I the butt for reminding my friend he makes 8 times more than me? That's usually never a good argument to have with your friends. I'm gonna be honest, fam. If you ever get to this point, the discussion is very astray. Background, my job doesn't pay the best, but I love the work. I obviously would like to be paid more. I mean, everyone would. I was listening ear to my friend a few years ago when he was looking for a job. Like, I was lending my ear, I was letting him vent to me, I guess. It's probably a saying in another language. I heard him list all the pros and cons for each option, including the salary. So now I know what his starting pay was at the one he settled on. It's literally 8 times more than my annual salary. Our friendship is not influenced at all by salary differences. We always split the spill. Split the bill, I guess. Split the spill. Listening ear is a saying in English. Like British English, I guess. Never pay for each other except birthdays, and all of which have worked well. I even house sit, he has a cat for him, for free when he is away. I mean, yeah, that sounds like basic friend stuff. To me, at least, it's very rare that, like, your personal finances comes up when you're just vibing with friends. Isn't it American English? I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. Build the leaves, spill the splash. Now that he has settled into his job, a job he will probably have till retirement, he has been complaining about it to me more and more. I listen, but I can't say I completely sympathize, mainly because I know I would happily deal with those problems if I got paid like him. He definitely is aware of how little I get paid because he has tried to help me look for new jobs, and I have commented on if the jobs paid more or less to my current salary. We do not work in the same fields. I mean, yeah, that will definitely cause some discrepancies, man. The incident. When we were hanging out, we discussed about wanting to go to this particular thing on a weekday. I brought it up how my job is pretty flexible and I can be available after a certain time. He says, "Wow, you're so lucky, I could never." Yeah, that's the thing. Different jobs have different benefits, man. If there's one thing that I have learned about jobs, at least, they all come with shit, right? Money certainly makes the shit more bearable. But man, every job has its unbearable aspects to it, okay? For example, when I used to work as a project manager, I didn't get to choose my clients. It was whoever the sales team managed to sell projects to. And then I came there. Sometimes people were perfectly nice and good. Sometimes they were complete social messes who would like be really uptight about the weirdest shit. You know? It's like, meh, that sort of comes with the territory of jobs. When I used to be in the academy, it was because the academy is really quirky and kind of like a bubble, and it's ineffective in some ways. When I work with YouTube, it's like 14-year-olds trying to cancel me on Twitter because I still follow some meme account that was bought by like some grifter because I haven't been on Twitter for 3 months, you know? It's like every job has its little stinky poos, okay? That's just how it goes. Not sure who's the butthole. I guess we'll see. You're so lucky, I could never. I mean, that's just seeing the silver lining, though. Then we kept discussing this thing, and he kept reiterating how lucky I was and how it sucks he can't. Eventually I got annoyed and said, "Dude, you literally make 8 times more than me. Would you say to an unemployed person that you're so lucky to have free time?" I mean, that's not really comparable, though, is it? Like you have actively made a choice to stay in the job because you like it. I mean, I can see it being socially clumsy on his part, but like, meh. Like, meh. You know? I have friends who are, for example, teachers, and they have really shitty weeks sometimes when their students are being annoying during test times. On the other hand, they have like fucking 2 months vacation during summer, so like, I don't know. Rich guy could literally quit his job, nothing is stopping him, lol. Anyone could quit? I don't know, man. Do you know his financial situation? I don't. What do you mean? This is a nothing problem? Yeah, exactly, it's a nothing problem. It's just like some silly argument. They don't even share finances or anything. It's not like they're in a situation where one person can afford what they're doing and the other one can't, and it becomes awkward. And like, it's a non-issue, man. After that, things got awkward and he hasn't been messaging me. Am I the butt for reminding him of that? Edit by X8, I mean, if I was making 30k a year, he's making 240k a year. Edit 2, my job isn't sunshine and butterflies. People who do exactly what I do have been actively trying to unionize. I just chose to look on the bright side, but there are lots of complaints about my job. No job is, well, almost no job is sunshine and butterflies. That's why it's called work. Work is work. Man. Here's the thing. Here's something I've learned, okay? And this is something I picked up on. It was like a year ago or something. The whole thing blew up when, like, what was it? Some streamers were saying that streaming was a really hard job. And some other people were like, oh yeah, try to work in a coal mine then. And then some other people were chiming in. And I was looking at this. And to me, the whole thing was just like a big rage bait shit sandwich, right? Because the thing is that no one likes being told that their job is easy. It really is that simple. Your job sounds pretty cozy. It is. But on occasion, I have to stay up until 5 a.m. because I get hit with random faulty copyright claims from scam companies. I have to wrestle with like fucking Chinese scam factories that try to scam my audience into buying off-brand shitty plushies that are like actively stealing everything I do. You know? I get the weirdest fucking shit in my email inbox. I have to worry about every single picture I take outdoors, so nothing in the background ever shows up that could potentially dox me. You know? So it's like, you can play Suffering Olympics all you want, but here's the truth, I still do this job out of my own accord because I love it. I could quit this job and do something else if I wanted to. That's the thing. If someone comes to me and say that, oh, your job is so easy, like, oh yeah, should I tell you about the fucking stalkers, or the time that YouTube deleted my channel with no warning and I was without a job for 3 weeks? Or, you know, every job has its quirks. You know, that's the thing. But I'm here and I'm doing it because I choose to, you know? It's like that kind of combination, right? I don't need anyone to coddle me and be like, oh my god, Click, you sitting and recording videos is so difficult. Oh my god, you're such a genius. I don't need anyone to coddle me. But I also don't anyone, especially someone who hasn't done it themselves, to dismiss potential difficult stuff that comes with it. My point is that unless you have done a job yourself, you don't actually know what difficult stuff comes with it. And that's what people don't like. So for example, when you had this argument a couple of years ago when like streamers were saying streaming is so hard and other people were saying streaming isn't hard at all, neither of these people had ever done the other job they were like complaining about, right? And that's why people were so mad at each other. When I stream, for example, yeah, it's pretty exhausting. Is it exhausting in the same way as working a physical job with your body? No. Is it as dangerous as some other stuff? No. Is it really uneasy and scary sometimes? For example, when you have hate groups going around doxing people or whatever it might be. Yeah. Do you have to like learn to navigate a really weird place on the internet where it's a combination of like PR and personal connections? Yeah. You know, it's just very, very different. But I still choose to do it out of my own accord. That's kind of my point. And I wouldn't never want anyone to coddle me for those kind of things, but I also would never want anyone to like talk about it like they know my life better than I know it. Does that make sense? I think that's something everyone can relate to no matter what it is you currently do. Home from a hard day, my first live. Hell yeah, welcome in, you beautiful being. Glad you stuck around, your content makes us happy. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. Mass, thank you so much for membership. It's like saying physical stuff is harder than mental stuff. They are hard in different ways. Yeah, it's like, would you say that a a PhD is more impressive than powerlifting. What? What do you mean? It's not even comparable in the least. What are you talking about? Why are we even comparing it? So, yeah. Also, smallest percentage since we invented mining of population working in mine nowadays. Yeah, of course. It's just like a hyperbolic example, but still. If you hate your job, try to make things better or change job if it's an option. I've had friends who have changed jobs because they realize it's not suitable for them. I have had friends, for example, who are more on the introverted side, who realize that I really don't like consultant work because it involves too much social stuff, and I end up just like hating everyone around me because I'm so exhausted, my social battery is so exhausted. That doesn't mean working as a consultant is the worst job in the world, but it means that it just isn't a good match, you know? Basically, most jobs are very demanding, not just on very different levels. You may not understand the stress or difficulties, but you shouldn't belittle it. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, would I belittle like a construction worker where it's like, oh my god, man, you don't have to deal with Twitter cancellation trains and you get to be out in the fresh air. Man, that sounds great. You know? Oh, what about that time they fucked up their back and was worried that they couldn't work and support their family anymore, you know? It's like, just don't be a dismissive ass because you don't know everything, you know? It really is that simple. Pickle Platypus, thank you so much for being a lasso. Let's see. My job isn't sunshine butterflies. People who do exactly what I do have been trying to unionize. I just chose to look on the bright side, but there are lots of complaints about my job. Also, it's not as flexible as commenters are perceiving it. The flexibility comes from my good relationship with the boss, which I had to work super hard to cultivate over the years and coming in on the weekends to make up for the work. I mean, I don't think anyone is arguing that you're not working hard. I don't know, man. This sounds kind of like projection in a way. Like, it sounds like, I mean, we don't have all the context, of course, but it sounds like the friend is just trying to, like, see the glass as half full or whatever. It's like, oh man, you're flexible. That's really cool. It sounds like he's assuming his friend doesn't work hard. It sounds a bit of projection, I'm gonna be honest. I have never liked these sort of things. Like, what did they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. And also the grass is always greener. Although commenters are asking and assuming, I will not disclose the salary for any reason. I want the emphasis to be on the disparity. 8 times is a lot. Most people aren't friends with people who make that many times more than them. If I'm on minimum wage, then he is comfortable, and if I am comfortable, then he is a millionaire. Yeah. I mean, fuck if you want to talk net worth, like the the average boomer who bought a house 20 years ago is a millionaire. I mean, not in cash, perhaps, but like, anyway. A soft butthole because you're not unemployed. Just because he makes a lot of money does not mean he's happy. You're a little jealous of his salary, and he's just a little jealous of your happiness and free time. That is natural. Yeah, it's just grass is greener, you know? It's like if you're like, man, I have to look at special deals in the supermarket to save money. Of course, you might look at someone who makes more and be like, man, I wish I had that. And someone who has more might look at someone else and be like, man, I wish I had more time for my family because right now job is hell. So I don't know. I think this just sounds like looking for misery. They can't be friends if OP can't get over his... Yeah, basically. He was calling you lucky and you acted offended. Why not just say, yes, that is one of the perks of the job I love, rather than snap at him and compare yourself to someone unemployed. Your response said, you don't have any right to complain, you're loaded, and that is a salary difference influencing your friendship. Yeah, basically. It's the same as if the friend told OP that OP has no right to complain about not being able to afford something because OP's got a ton of free time and a job and the job he loves. Yeah. And the grass is usually greener where the shit falls. Oh, yes, indeed. It's usually not wish I had that, but wish I didn't have my poo. Yeah, that too, I suppose. Salary difference doesn't influence our friendship, he tells himself in an attempt to keep the growing resentment at bay. Yeah, it just sounds like projection, man. I don't know, I think life in general is about figuring out what is enough for you. How do you achieve it? It's not always as easy, of course, because the economy is the way it is. But It's up to you, and the same thing doesn't make everyone happy in the same way. I have seen all kinds of like formulas for happy lives, and it depends so much on friends. I have, for example, some friends who like got a house in the middle of nowhere because they wanted a big garden for growing vegetables, and it was cheap, and they could both work fewer hours every week because it was cheaper to have a house out there, and they didn't have to take on like murderous loans. And they also love the countryside, you know. So that was like their priority. And they're like, you know what? This is kind of what we want anyway. It is cheaper and we can work less. Fuck yeah. That's their happiness. You know, their happiness wasn't like, ooh, I'm going to make $200K a year. It's like, no, it was actually the opposite. It was like, okay, how do we free ourselves from like the fucking wheel of capitalism as much as possible? You know, for other people, I've seen they're really happy because they're, for example, building their own business. And it's amazing when it does well. And it's like, oh my God, I'm building this for myself and my family and et cetera, et cetera. Happiness can come in so many different shapes and sizes. That's the thing. So this story with that little piece of wisdom gives me more like something is grinding at this dude. He's sort of projecting it on his friend who may or may not be dealing with the same thing. And that makes it resentful. And that's bad. The issue is probably with you, not with your friend. He's just kind of existing. I am Elmo. I'll take my only two. Hell yeah, thank you. I would love a house in the middle of nowhere with a remote job where I can go outside and just hang out with bugs and stuff. Hell yeah. Hang out with the little squirrels in the forest. We must return to Monkey to find true happiness. Monkey. Including you, click, happiness is subjective. What's great to one is terrible to another. Yeah, I mean, like what I explained with just like a very simple example, like the consultant job. Consultant job might be flexible and nice and fun because you get to meet a lot of people. If your social battery runs out because of it, it's going to be miserable. Vastly depends on the person. Not the but. Oh, this person says not the but. I make a lot more than one of my friends, and I'm self-aware enough to realize that there will be a certain type of job complaints he wouldn't appreciate. Thank you. You're the first one I've seen make this point. Okay. I have a friend who makes minimum wage. I would never mention any complaints about my job to him. I save the complaints. I have many despite liking my job overall. For specific coworkers, I disagree with this. Honestly, there is knowing the audience, right? You know, if I had like, I don't know, if I was talking to fucking a huge, massive YouTuber and they were complaining to me like, you know, oh man, I only got paid $110,000 for this sponsorship instead of $120,000, I'd be like, holy, what the hell? Okay, you know, that's tacky, right? But just like talking about difficulties at work, independent of what you do for a job, that just sounds like friendship. What? You shouldn't have to walk around eggshells on someone you call a friend. Yeah, like that's my point. Like there's a difference between like that tacky stuff versus talking about like, oh man, I had such annoying client at work today. It's kind of a funny story. And it's like, okay, they work as a fancy consultant in some, you know, management job or whatever. It's like, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's so elitist because you work as management. Like, no, let's hear about the funny, annoying client. You know? That's just interesting. What do you mean? I want to hear about people that have different jobs than me. I don't really care if they make more or less. You know? What? Happiness is sharing experiences like this stream. You know, I enjoy, for example, I have listened to everything from like, you know, part-time daycare teachers talking about their wild experiences with quirky parents to like CEO executive type people talking about like the wild fucking politicking and backstabbing that goes on higher up in corporate life, you know. And I enjoy both these stories because it's something vastly different from what I do. And it's fascinating and usually kind of funny and you learn something, you know. I don't really care if someone makes more or less than I do. It's just interesting, you know. It would be one thing if the friend was complaining about money. I mean, sure. It's like if the friend was like, oh my God, I couldn't afford my second gold-plated toilet. Yeah, That would be kind of insufferable, but it doesn't really sound like that's what's happening. Regardless of being butthole or not, the lesson here is money isn't even the top 5 things that make a job great. Of course, everyone wants more money, but often the trade-off of time, flexibility, autonomy are far more important than maximizing earnings. It's usually like, if you look at studies regarding this stuff, happiness usually caps out at a certain earnings. I don't remember exactly how much, but it's not a super huge amount. So it's basically like once you have everything covered that you want, like essentials, a bit of freedom, enough to have personal choice, etc., not worry about things, then happiness comes from other stuff. Happiness from money caps out. It's more like having enough money doesn't make you miserable. It's not so much that money itself makes you happy. Hence it caps out, you know? My friends love hearing different stuff. Like yesterday, everyone got a laugh at me sending them pics of Harry Planter. I don't even know what that is. Money isn't important unless you don't have enough of it. Yeah, exactly. It's like not having money makes you miserable. That's usually the kind of thing someone says when they're already getting good money. Someone making 200k might well drop 30k for more flexibility and autonomy, but someone on 20k would put up with a lot of shit to get an extra 5k in my experience. It depends. Vastly depends. I have met people who make good money who are super flexible. I have also met people who are making good money who gave up fucking everything to get there. So I don't know, man. This varies greatly. It varies greatly, man. I have met all kinds of variations of that. I feel like going, oh, you're so lucky with your job, knowing you make way more than the other person is still kind of trashy, though. That's different to complaining. I don't know, man. For example, I've had people be like, oh shit, we got a really nice coffee machine at work. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Like, I don't know. It's just, I think you can be excited about the small things. No? I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing, or maybe it's just like how I work with people around me, or I don't know, man. But like, man, bruh. I don't know. I think sometime with a better paycheck and a shit job, might be jealous of someone who likes what they do. Someone with a better paycheck and a shit job. I mean, yeah, the grass is always greener. That's the thing. From a hell of a boss, money can't buy happiness, but it can rent you paradise. Yeah, that's pretty valid. Having money reduces misery, for sure. Talking about the stupid stuff is more fun than talking about the money. Oh, for sure. For sure, man. For sure. Like when I shared like work stories with my friends, for example, when we're just like pumping weights at the gym or something. We're listening to like one of my friends because he had like some really insane Karen story about, you know, a student that was literally stealing shit, but the mom refused to believe it because it was their little angel, and it was like completely wild, right? And then like I have some wild story about like, oh yeah, let me tell you about the time when XYZ tried to cancel me and ran a smear campaign for months, and you know, it's like, it's just fun to exchange stories because it's like different worlds, man. So yeah, I don't know. I sort of think that it depends on the friendship, I guess, but meh. Money doesn't buy a happy life, but it sure makes it easier. Amen. Flip the tables. What if you were talking about something you wished you could have do, and 1, dismissed your feeling, and 2, mentioned your salary as why your feelings don't matter? I have a feeling you'll be annoyed twice. Why should he feel any different? His salary is none of your business and does not play into your friendship. His availability to hang out does play into your friendship. Seems like bummer. I wish you could be there too. Would have been a lot more appropriate than, quit your griping, nobody cares about you, you're rich. Yeah. This is kind of similar to that, to the other story about the bed, right? It seems to be like a very small thing that is just over-dramatized, right? This is what I would expect kind of like friends to do, you know? If one of my friends who has like a fancy engineering job can't hang out this Friday, I'm not gonna be like, look at Mr. Engineer making lots of money and can't hang out on Friday, boo fucking who? I would be like, oh man, bro, that's a bummer. I would have loved to have a beer. What about next Friday instead? Make a mountain out of a molehill? Yeah. It's like when you crawl up on like a little anthill and choose to die on it. It has happened where he asked me to join Gym Sports League Club, where the fee is too much for me. I tell him I can't afford it. I do not say, "You're so lucky you can afford it," which is equivalent to what he said to me in my post. He is lucky he can afford it, just like you are lucky you can take more time off. How about friends celebrate good things in each other's lives? Yeah, that's so... The friend saying he wishes he had flexibility of OP's position, not celebrating OP's fortune, though. It's complaining about the lack of that perk in his life. Basically, it's not... Oh my fucking god, man. This whole... I'm gonna close this thread because it feels like it's starting to, like, nitpick specific wording in a bullshit argument. I can't, man. I can't. Let's do a little... let's do a little... Who is but... OP... friend? Or... I'm just gonna say, like, no one? I don't know, man. Bruh. It's Timmy. These two just need to apologize to each other to move on. Yeah, I just be like, bruh, it's dumb that we're arguing about this. Let's just have a beer and shoot the shit. Yeah, I agree, bro. Sorry I didn't realize what I said was clumsy. There you go. What the hell is the issue? I don't know, man. I don't know. Would I be the butt if I told my brother the real reason our family fell apart? How long is this? Oh, it's not that long. I want to read this one. Hell yeah. All right, let's see. What do we got? OP is but. Some people are saying just no one sucks. It sounds like just, I don't know, miscommunications, projected frustrations. I don't know. They should just talk about it if they value their friendship, man. Bruh. Seems like this issue hits too deep for OP. They might be incompatible as friends. Maybe. Maybe. That's possible. What would I be the butt if I told my brother the real reason our family fell apart? About 3 years ago, my F21 parents split apart and are currently undertaking divorce proceedings. My brother, 18M, is currently living with my dad while I live with my mom. With their house only being about 20 minutes away from one another, both my parents are very tense and are not civil during these proceedings. When they announced their divorce, I had learned that my mom had an emotional affair for a few months, and this had led to the divorce. This has led my brother to blame my mother for ruining the family and blaming her for the split of my family, and they are not currently speaking. However, I know that my dad had a physical affair before this occurred and had heard him and his AP being physical in the house while my mother was home. Oh, bruh. However, my dad does not know this information, or that I know he has cheated. My father is currently blaming my mother for splitting the family apart and is one of the driving reasons for my brother not speaking to my mother, and says that she cheated on him. Hypocrite. Emotional affair. I would like to know what the emotional affair involved, because I feel like it's that sort of word that is tossed around online like a lot, but I don't think I've ever actually encountered anyone even using the term IRL. Am I like the only one who's noticed that? I mean, I could totally see someone having an emotional affair after the partner had a literal affair. Like, bruh. I've heard it IRL. Emotional affairs like flirting, texting, dating without physical anything. I mean, I know what it is. I mean, isn't that just a friend, an emotional affair? My question is, would I be the butt if I told my brother the real reason of what happened? Some things to consider are, my parents are underway with divorce proceedings. In this case, the tension between them can cause financial stress between the both of them. My mom could cost a lot of money. My mom is aware of how the affair is, worried about the implications telling anyone. Many people who chosen my dad's side in the divorce are aware of this. Meh. I mean, I would just tell the brother, honestly. Like, if he's like cutting off one parent based on false information, I would just be like, hey bro, there is more to it, man. Not the but. I'd normally say stay out of the relationship issues that aren't yours, but your parents have made their mess your problem. Yeah, that's the thing. It's your problem now. That's why I would consider giving him those deets. And it's now affecting your relationship with your brother. A child has no moral obligation to lie to protect their parents, especially when it comes to the cost of the relationship with their sibling. I would talk to your dad about how this is weighing on you and give him a chance to tell the truth first. I like this comment. This is a good one. I would not give him the chance to tell him the truth because I wouldn't trust he would do so. He had the opportunity already. I mean, you could easily double check that with the son. Like, hey, did your dad tell you something about why the divorce is happening? He told me he wanted to tell you something. And then if he says no, or he says something else, then it's like, all right, no, he lied again. This is what happened. I don't know. I think you could do that pretty easily. Or warn the brother OP is going to be making up stories trying to make her mother look better. People seem to automatically believe the first story they hear, so it's best to be first. Maybe. I don't know. I suppose it depends on how much of a liar the dad is. I don't know, man. I kind of like this comment, but I suppose it's good to be cautious if the dad is a notorious liar. Tell him, my husband's parents divorced and he had a bad relationship with his father because of bad info from his mother and sister, and he really regrets it now as an adult. That is fair. Yeah, I've seen that happen too. It's sad. Tell people who are part of the mess in some way, always. You'd want to be told, so tell. That is very true. Yeah, I kind of like those takes. You gotta get the truth out there one way or another. I'm also like, I don't know. Like, yeah, if the dad had a physical affair, and, you know, then the mom is there like, oh my god, he literally had his mistress and did all these things in our family home. And then, you know, while they're going through this absolute mess of emotions and betrayal, you have this, like, smiling gent in the office being nice to you by the coffee machine. You're like, the dreams that could be, you know. I don't know, man. I think it would be perfectly normal to have a emotional affair after someone literally cheat on you. I'm gonna be honest. That doesn't sound like... that sounds pretty normal. Honestly. Sounds like a cheesy rom-com. Ooh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I wonder if some of these stories are like trying rom-com stuff. Maybe it's AI trying to farm how to automate rom-com stories. Hell yeah. Hamilton coded. Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god. What's the story? The Bridgertons. It could be the Bridgerton drama. Oh my god. Remember, you are a Featherington. Oh, Mr. Bridgerton. Oh my. Oh, quite so. I am so rich, and also have a six-pack. Oh my, but the marriage is in 1 week, and I love your brother more than I love you. Oh my god. Rich people shit. I hate not knowing what is and isn't AI. It's getting more and more difficult, especially in text. Images, still easy. Sometimes I get caught by it, though, when it's like more specific stuff, like simplistic, cartoonish stuff can sometimes slip by because it's getting better. But text is hard. The accent caught me off guard. Oh, you know what else caught me off guard? Mr. Bridgerton. Oh. Bruh. See what else OPS posted? I mean, this looks like an alt account, so probably nothing. Let's see what else. Ooh, a promoted lawyer. Wow, great. Let's see. I kind of want to see, like, good tea. Are there any more, like, butthole stories? I want a controversial butt... Oh, here is one. Am I the butt for not changing my hyphenated name into one? Oh, is it like a name with like a dash in the middle or something like that? Is that what hyphenated means? Like it's a name that's has like 2 pieces? Is that what it means? If you ask me anything that poses AI, this is the sort of thing that AI would say, given how easy it is to do. Is it AI trying to like make other AI look bad? It's just a battle of AIs, man. Is that okay? Perfect. I, 19F, was given a hyphenated name at birth. Oh, should I read this as like, let's do it in Bridgerton. I, 19F, was given a hyphenated birth at my birth. My mother, 42F Featherington. 42 Featherington is what this means. 42 Featherington was the type of woman that didn't want to change her last name and kept it while getting married to my father. I mean, I would think so, with a name like Featherington. I am the only child, and when my mom gave birth to me, they agreed on a hyphenated name, since she wanted my last name to play a part. My last name was Thatcher Moore. No, Featherington Feather Tor. Fuck. Thatcher Moore. Thatcher being my father's last name, and Moore being my mother's. I mean, doesn't seem so bad. During childhood, I always hated it. Kids would sometimes poke fun at me for my last name.
Oh, look at that kid over there. They have 2 last names. What a fucking loser.
Tell me that person didn't use their real name. I don't think so. Thatcher Moore are both very like famous public names. I don't think, I think this is fake. I think the names are fake, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise it would be like absolutely wild. I also thought it sounded ugly and a mouthful. I preferred Thatcher alone. It went better with my name and was better than Moore. In junior high, I began to tell people was Mary Thatcher instead of Mary Thatcher Moore. Okay. When my mom caught on, she would get very upset or very angry. Sometimes she would yell and demand I stop or cry, saying she just wanted her daughter to be a part of her. I felt sympathy for her, but it was also my name as well. When I turned 18 and graduated from high school, I was debating on actually changing my name to just Thatcher legally. I had been in college for a few months when I decided to go through with it. That Christmas break, my mother figured it out, not sure how, but I wasn't really hiding it from her, and she absolutely freaked out. I first thought she would be extremely angry with me, but she was heartbroken. She sobbed and refused to speak to me. Now I have angry relatives, especially my father. He says he didn't ask for this and broke my own mother's heart, and should I be ashamed? Am I the butt? Yeah. I mean, literally removing a family name from your name, especially your parents' name, it's kind of like, it's sort of a statement. It's kind of a statement, man. They aren't a butt, but I legally had my name changed. I mean, I think changing a name isn't a big deal in itself, but I think like the gesture can sure be a bit of sass. I mean, I know people that have changed their name. For example, I had one friend in uni who had a very common Swedish last name, like Svensson. It wasn't actually Svensson, but like a similar thing, right? And they changed it to like an older family name they had, so they had like the permission to do it. And the family was fine with it and that sort of stuff, you know. So it wasn't like for any drama reasons. They just wanted a name that wasn't so vanilla. It would be called Smith in the US, kind of. So I mean, I've seen it, I get it, but I can also see someone being upset about it, I guess. I don't know, man. It seems like drama. Your name is your own, and you have the right to choose what you like it to be. However, I can also sympathize with your mom and see where she's coming from. As females, we often have to give up so much of ourselves and our identity when we marry and become mothers. Carrying on a name is an honor for your mother's identity and ancestry. It was a significant piece of her that I'm sure she was hoping to pass on to her child and wear with pride. I could absolutely see why she'd be very hurt when it felt like that wasn't the case. Yeah, it's like both perspectives are valid. It's like you're perfectly allowed to change your own name. I can also see a parent being like upset when it comes out of nowhere, but it also sounds like it's blowing it out of proportion. So it's another one of those, you know, where it's like I can understand both perspectives. Sounds like overly dramatic though. You know, that's usually my takeaway. So many of these stories, man. It's the same with that story with the beds in the guest room and stuff. It's like, man, I can sort of see both perspectives. Why is it so fucking dramatic? This is need context of her relationship with her mother. Oh man, that too, yeah. I-19 was given a hyphenated name at birth. My mother was the type of woman that didn't want to change her last name and kept it. The type of woman? You mean the human that also cares about her name, identity, and legacy? You seem to resent your mother for not going along with own patriarchal traditions, but guess what, honey? Your father was also that type of man who didn't want to take your mother's name. I suppose that's kind of a point. Like, if you think your double last name is a hassle, the people who would also give you a double last name are the people that care a lot about it. So it's like, it's a bit of a troublesome setup, I suppose. Should I talk to the mother first? Yeah, this should have been a conversation. Even if the conversation was only just to be like, hey, mom, still love you. I just think this name is a mouthful. And, you know, the combination isn't really rolling off the tongue like I want it to, you know. So it's nothing against family traditions or whatever. I'm just, I just want a name that fits on a piece of paper when I sign my name, you know. Meh. So, yeah. I think the problem is just, like, pre-communication, you know. So, meh. Sounds like a little bit of lack of communication. I can sort of see both perspectives. A lot of drama, man. I'm glad I'm not there. Hell yeah. My husband actually considered taking my last name because it would have been easier for him. We decided to just both keep our names. Hell yeah, that's cute. Once again, the solution was simple communication. I wonder how many AmITheA stories are just like communication or lack thereof. Just so you know, click. I think a clunk of people are leaving in a minute for Eurovision. That's good, because I'm leaving to have some dinner, so that's perfect timing. Probably not going to watch Eurovision, though. I haven't in years, unless someone else in the household does, which we'll see. Didn't end well, you mean Eurovision? Anyway, I am going to head off before it gets late, because I want my snackies. Thank you all so very much for vibing with me here today, you wonderful, beautiful beings, and I will see you again in the very near future in a video or in a stream, and I do hope you all keep smelling amazing, because you deserve to smell amazing, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Mwah.